his absence, and quarterback coach Ken Dorsey stepped in, and there was a little bit of a drop off in terms of the have earlier in his career.
It's Mike and Zach coming at you from the Birdcage in Vermillion. As you hear the themes of the Love Boat coming through, it's our special Valentine's Day edition of Vermillion Tanager basketball. And we're expecting you. All right, that's enough of that for now. All right, we want to welcome you to the Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment pregame show as bring you the Vermillion Tanagers basketball. Tonight, the Tanager Boys are hosting the Red Raiders of Wagner. Due to weather, this game has been moved up, and there were no JV or C games. The Tanager Boys are 7-10 on the season and currently sit in 6th place in Region 4A. And if the season ended today, they would face Elk Point Jefferson in the opening region game. Now, Midwest Ready Mix, you take pride in the work you do, and Midwest Ready Mix respects your commitment to high standards. So they produce high-quality design mixes for your residential and commercial construction projects. Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment on East Highway 50 in Vermillion. Give them a call at 605-638-0812. Again, we're at the Birdcage in Vermillion. This is the boys' third to final regular season game, their second to last home game. They'll be facing Canton on Monday, on President's Day. So just kind of getting down to the end of the season. It just feels like it just started, honestly. Especially with all the postponements and cancellations early on, it feels like we're just getting our feet underneath us. But we'll go with that. And so did want to go over some of the polls that came out yesterday, the South Dakota Prep Media polls for the boys. In AA, Sioux Falls Jefferson, unanimous number 1. 21st place votes at 16-0 maintain their first place rating. Sioux Falls Lincoln stays at 2nd at 15-1. Mitchell stays in 3rd at 12-3. Yankton, coming off their victories last week, moved from 5th into 4th. And Sioux Falls Roosevelt moves from 8th to 5th. Also receiving votes, Brandon Valley, Pierre, Harrisburg, and Sioux Falls, Washington. In A, boys, Dakota Valley comes in first, keeping their first place rating. Sioux Valley stays in 2nd. Sioux Falls Christian in 3rd. Winter in 4th, and St. Thomas More in 5th. Receiving votes, Lennox, Del Rapids, Hamlin, and Rapid City Christian. And in B, Aberdeen Christian stays in 1st. DeSmet moves up from 3rd into 2nd. Lower Brule, after defeating White River, moves from 4th into 3rd. White River moves from 2nd down to 4th, and Faith maintains their 5th place rating. Also receiving votes, Castlewood and Viborg Hurley boys. For the girls, in AA, Sioux Falls Jefferson, Sioux Falls Washington, and Pierre all stay in top 3. Harrisburg moves up from 5th to 4th, and O'Gorman falls from 4th to 5th. Also receiving votes, Brandon Valley. In Class A, Hamlin is unanimous number 1, 21st place votes. They stay in 1st place. Vermillion stays in 2nd at 18-1. Wagner stays in 3rd at 18-1. Sioux Falls Christian went from receiving votes, they're into 4th place. They're at 17-2 on the season. One of those losses was to Vermillion. St. Thomas More at 14-4. They stay in 5th place. Receiving votes, Florence Henry and Red Cloud. Then in Class B, Viborg Hurley stays in 1st, 15-3, with 17 first-place votes. Woolsey Wessington receives 3 first-place votes, and they're in 2nd at 16-2. Sully Buttes moves from 4th into 3rd. Ethan moves from 5th into 4th. Arlington moves from receiving votes up to 5th. And then falling out is Centerville, but they're still receiving votes at 8. Howard received 3 points. And then Andes Central Dakota Christian received 2. Those are the first 2 votes that they've received this season. But they did fall last night, but they fell to Ethan by about 13 points, 4th-ranked Ethan. So we'll see next week if they maintain their ratings. So those are the polls as we see it. And as we mentioned, we're getting towards the end of regular season. And for the girls, Vermillion Tanager girls right now in Region 4A, they are at the top. And it looks like it's pretty much guaranteed that they will take on Parker. So they play Parker on Friday on the road in Parker. And then next week for regions, they will be back home and they will host Parker in that first Region 4A matchup. In second, Canton. Third is Lennox. Fourth, T area. Fifth, Elk Point Jefferson. Sixth, Dakota Valley. And seventh, Beersford. And on the boys' side, obviously Dakota Valley undefeated. They're at the top of the region. Vermillion is currently 6th at 7-10 on the season. If the season ended right now, they would face, again, Elk Point Jefferson. But there is a lot of movement that can happen in there because after Dakota Valley, Lennox is in second with 45.25 points. Elk Point Jefferson is in third with 44 points. T is in fourth with 43.8. Beersford with 43.0. Vermillion with 40.6. Canton with 40.3, and that is Vermillion's opponent on Monday. And then Parker, who Vermillion plays on Friday, at 36.389. So that's how it falls right now for the regions as we start to head into that. So when we come back, we have a few Tanager talks that we'd like to get into, and we also have our conversations with the coaches. We also had a chance to sit down with Coach Brooks. So we'll be back in 2 minutes here on ESPN Radio 101.5 AM 1570 KVTK, kvtk.com, and live on Vermillion streaming on YouTube.
Perfect night of sleep can be found with Slumberland's Sleep Solutions Center. Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Sealy all feature. Don't lose another night of sleep. Stop by Slumberland of Yankton. Looking to update the family room? Look no further than Yankton Slumberland. Lazy Boy, Flex Steel Furniture, and more. All at your hometown furniture store. That's Slumberland of Yankton.
You can feel beautiful in your own skin. Candice Couture offers intimates to make you feel your best. Whether you want to feel beautiful for a night or you just want to feel frisky. Candice Couture also offers mastectomy bras, prosthetics, and nursing bras. Candice Couture, 17 West Main Street, Vermillion. We are beautiful in every aspect life throws at us.
Last week, a guy walked into the UPS store in Vermillion. He did not notice the copiers, the printers, the mailboxes, the banners, the posters, not even the business and shipping supplies. It was like he had blinders on. Hi, this is Jay with the UPS store in Vermillion. Many people don't see everything we have to offer when they stop by the UPS store to ship their packages. They miss all the things we have, like printing, designing. We even offer notary services here at the UPS store, located on Cherry Street in Vermillion.
Feed has served the area for nearly 100 years with the goal to continue this local family-owned business for the long haul. Johnson Feed is proud to be a part of the Vermillion community with a facility ready to repair, wash, and sell tires for all trucks and vehicles. Johnson Feed has room for drivers too. If interested, talk to the friendly folks at Johnson Feed. They have over 200 company trucks to deliver products throughout the country and over 375 company employees. Johnson Feed wish the best to the Vermillion Tanagers this season.
Sometimes trapped at work, surrounded by four walls, working the same task daily? Well, here's an opportunity. Larry's is hiring for installers and service technicians. These positions mean that you are out and about at a job site with a different situation every day. No experience needed, we will train you. Larry's offers great pay and benefits. Apply for our installer or service technician position by stopping by our Yankton location at 2401 Broadway Avenue or online at larrysheatingandcooling.com.
We're back in the Vermillion at the Birdcage. And we welcome you back to the Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment pregame show. Next up, we have a conversation, one of our Tanager talks. We have a conversation with Vermillion Tanager sophomore guard Trillian Sorel. Trillian's also known as a wide receiver on the football team. And so here's that conversation with Trillian.
And we're back with our next Tanager talk. And on the line, we have Trillian Sorel. Trillian, it's Super Bowl Sunday. How's it going today?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right. Are you going to watch the big game?
Yeah, I plan on watching.
All right. Now, are you a fan of either team or just kind of watching it because it's the thing to do?
Yeah, I'm just watching it because, it's football, so it's the last game of the year, so I just really want to, partake in that.
Nope, I agree. I don't really have a rooting interest for either team, so mine was out early on in the playoffs, so yeah, but you watch it for the commercials, and you want to be able to say you watched it. You want to be one of the millions,
Yeah. Just to talk about it on Monday.
Exactly. So, well, we're calling during basketball season, but I also know you play football. Do you play sports besides those two?
I run track. Yeah.
You run track? Okay.
I played baseball. Yeah, I played baseball when I was a kid, but I stopped doing that. I started running track. So.
Okay. So in track, what are your main events?
I do long jump. I run the 200, 100, and then I do the relay for both of those.
Okay.
Do those.
All right. So what are some of your PRs in each of those events?
I think I actually don't. I don't remember last year. I think my long jump was an 18.9. I think I can do way better than that though now. So we'll see.
Okay.
And I can't exactly remember my 100 times, but yeah.
Well,
I just kind of ran. I wasn't really focused on anything else.
That's kind of the way to do it. There's nothing wrong with just getting out there and doing your best and not worrying about the numbers. That all you're working on is just trying to improve. So
yep.
that says something.
Yeah.
Of the three, what is your favorite sport?
For sure, football. Yeah. Yep.
All right, and I've seen you've been sharing some stuff on Twitter. I think you guys are going to have quite the wide receiving group next year. I think it's going to be a little surprising to some people how well you guys are going to be performing between you and zone, and you toss Connor in there. I think you guys are going to be quite the wide receiving group.
Yeah, I do too. We talk about it a lot. Me and Zoe on the outside, or I will inside too. It doesn't matter. That's the one thing you can just spread us around. So we're kind of deadly with that. And then you add Connor. Connor's a really good route runner and everything. So
yeah,
it's really dangerous.
That it will be, and get a full season, get a full practice with the quarterbacks and stuff like that. It'll be something to behold. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But we're in the middle of basketball. Hey, not even really in the middle. We're getting towards the end here. And honestly, with the beginning of the season the way it was, with the cancellations and postponements, it feels like we're just getting started. But, you only have a few regular season games left and then regions. How have you felt about the season?
I've just been kind of, going with it. I just been kind of like track for basketball. I just kind of play the game. Don't really worry about a lot. If it gets canceled, I'm just ready for the next game, next practice and everything. So right now, I'm just playing the game. Like I said, not worried about the end or anything. I'm just going to keep going till it's done.
All right. Well, nope, that's a perfectly good answer. Now, this is going to be a question that has stumped some people, but what is something about you that if people heard it, they would be surprised? And that could be something that you like or like to do, or something that you don't like or don't like to do. And it doesn't have to be sports related, but it can be. Completely up to you.
Okay, so I actually like a lot of not really nerdy stuff, but it shouldn't be nerdy, but I like to read. I like reading Harry Potter. That's my favorite book series.
Really?
I like drawing and stuff like that. So people might just think I'm not just an athlete. I like a lot of other stuff.
So you're into the arts with the literature and with drawing and stuff like that? Well, that is great.
Poetry as well. I like poetry.
Really? Are you into modern poetry, old-time poetry? Do you have a favorite poet?
Honestly, it's not like poetry, but it's like just honestly music. Like music got me into poetry because I noticed that in lots of songs, people use poetry in songs, and I was like, and as like in middle school, I did a lot of poetry, and I was pretty good at it, and I just kind of tapped in with music. So if I said there was like a favorite poet, it'd be my guy J. Cole, who's also actually an artist, but he's basically a poet. I'd like to elaborate that, but I don't know if you listen to J. Cole.
No, I haven't, but I will definitely look him up. That is all right, because yes, there's definitely a crossover between poetry and music and poetry. You know, there is that large crossover because they both go well and blend well into each other, and that's why, you know, so many musicians, even like a Leonard Cohen, you know, great musician, also a poet. Jim Morrison, great musician, great poet.
Yeah.
And there's a reason, because there is that same wavelength and brain length for them. So that is amazing. That is probably one of my favorite surprises so far. So thank you for that one.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now, here's another one. And as a sophomore, you might not have been thinking too much about this, but when you think about your future, and you can put whatever timeline you want to on this, but what do you think of in 5 years, 10 years, you know, whether it's in college or what you're studying, what you're doing for a job in 10 years or 30 years from now, you're president, Trillian. What would you like to see the future hold for you?
For me, there's like a lot of things I want to do. So it's all up in the air about like how things go down. But I for sure want to continue playing football throughout as long as I can. That's college, maybe possibly NFL. That's the end game goal. It's been my goal my whole life. I'm just gonna keep going for that. But I always have, you know, backup plans because, you know, reality will set in eventually. So if football doesn't work out or anything, I'll probably just continue training for football, like, you know, training people, or maybe going into coaching. But there's other things like I said, poetry. Maybe I'll be going for some writing. I'll write. I like to write a lot. As a kid, I liked superheroes and all like the Marvel stuff. So I can go into that. There's just a lot of different things, but I also want to travel a lot. So it's not like a whole set deal, but those are some main things that I want to do in my life.
Well, it's great to have goals, and you have some great ones there. So I think those are quite commendable. Well, I tell you what, we're almost at 8 minutes here. So I just had one more question for you. For the people that are listening, the Vermillion fans that are listening on the radio or maybe watching this and hearing it on YouTube, do you have anything that you'd like to say to them?
What I like to say. I thank everyone for being very supportive for Vermillion. It's a small town, so like, you know, we're all kind of fighting together. So I just like the support we get from a lot of the fans. Like my coach pointed out one time about how the fans came out and like whenever we scored, like how happy the fans were for football and everything, and that made me realize like how lovely this town is, how we're so connected through like, you know, USD and everything, and even for the high school as well.
Well, I think that was pretty much the perfect answer, and I think that's a great way to wrap this up, Trillian. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I hope to be able to talk with you again in the future.
Thank you. You're welcome. I hope I can talk to you as well.
Sounds good. You have a great day. Enjoy the Super Bowl. That was sophomore Trillian Sorel of the Vermillion Tanagers here on our Tanager Talk. We hope you had a great time learning just a little bit more about Trillian.
In a situation like this, the first thing you do, of course, is make sure everybody's okay. And then you're thinking, you better call your insurance person. No, just call Justin. At Vermillion Auto Works, you see Justin handles all the insurance claims and gives free quotes. Not everybody does the free quote thing anymore, you know. So call Justin at Vermillion Auto Works. He'll take care of the situation. Carrying WeatherTech, Rough Country, and Tuxedo. Vermillion Auto Works. You want a lumber yard that delivers more. The Lumberyard Vermillion has been going strong in the same spot now for 53 years, helping you find the building solutions you need, offering new technology with old-fashioned friendly small-town service, making the Lumberyard in Vermillion your building supply solution from start to finish.
You are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills, we'd love to talk to you about a rock star career. Masaba in Vermillion is hiring full and part-time manufacturing positions for the rock industry. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a clean, safe, and state-of-the-art facility. Masaba offers competitive wages, a fun and interesting work environment and culture. Join our team of rock stars. Visit masabainc.com to learn more.
We are back here at the Birdcage in Vermillion on the campus of Vermillion High School, where we're getting ready to bring you the Vermillion Tanagers and the Wagner Red Raiders. You're joining us during our Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment pregame show. Next up, we did have another Tanager Talk. We had a chance to sit down with Maya Halverson. As you know, we've been trying to get through all of the varsity players, and Maya was gracious enough to sit down with us. And here is that conversation with Maya Halverson.
We're here with our next Tanager Talk. We have Maya Halverson on the line. Maya, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
I am doing great. Are you nervous for the interview?
No, I'm not too nervous.
Good, because it's not meant to be nerve-wracking at all. So,
Yeah.
we're sitting here. We're about a week or two into February. So, Valentine's Day, I kind of usually ask a holiday question. Valentine's Day is around the corner. President's Day is about a week away. Do you usually do anything for Valentine's Day? Do you recognize President's Day? What do you kind of do for those holidays?
We definitely recognize them. I don't really do much for Valentine's Day. I like to hang out with friends, and that's pretty much the majority of what I do.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you get some chocolate, though? You have to do chocolate on Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely do.
All right.
A lot
All right.
of it.
Do you have a go-to when you're thinking chocolate?
Yeah, definitely Reese's for sure.
Oh, good choice. See, that's my dad's favorite. I always knew growing up, if I ever borrowed his car, I knew I'd find a Reese's peanut butter cup wrapper in there somewhere. So that was always my dad's go-to. So good choice. Good choice on that one. Well, like I said, the season feels like, because it got off to such a weird start with all the postponements and cancellations, it feels like it's just getting going, but it's really getting towards the end. We only have a couple of regular season games left. Then you have regions. How has this season felt for you?
It's been really good. It's been a lot of fun to just be a part of the team, and it has gone really fast. And, I didn't even really notice that we're almost done, but we are. So, yeah.
I know. I was thinking about that just the other day. And so, when we're talking here, we're just coming off the victory over Irene Wakanda, and I got to call your name a few different times. You got some good action in there in the third and fourth quarters. How did that feel?
It was really nice. I think it's good to get, some extra varsity experience, just because it's, a different environment than, JV and stuff, so.
It really is. You can definitely tell it's different out there. But, boy, you guys looked good, once you kind of got comfortable. And so I was glad to see you guys getting out there. So congratulations on that. Now,
thank you.
How long have you been playing basketball?
I have been, since I was really little. I joined a travel team in, 5th grade, and that's when I kind of started.
Okay. All right. So you joined a travel team in 5th grade. Now, so we know you play basketball. Are there other sports that you like to take part in?
Yes, I play tennis, and I run track, and I play softball.
All right. Well, what are the events you do in track?
I run long distance, so it's mostly 400s all the way up to the 2 mile.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I'm always impressed with that. And I tell you, tossing the 400 in there, that shows you have a little sprinter in you, because if you're able to do the 400, that's quite impressive. So congratulations on doing those events. That is excellent.
Thank you. Thanks.
Now that leads to this question, though. If you do softball, now that it's a sanctioned sport, are you guys going to be able to maybe try to do both? People that do track and softball this spring, or how's that going to work out for people? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how that's going to go yet. I'm definitely doing softball, and I'm not really sure about track yet.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to try and still be a part of it, but I'm not sure how it's going to go.
Yeah, well, because I was just thinking about it this morning, I've talked to a number of the basketball players that are softball players, and I think it'd be really fun to be part of something inaugural like that. I'm looking forward to being able to announce it because, honestly, somebody's going to get the first hit, the first double, triple, home run, strikeout, and after this season, whoever's the team leader is going to be the all-time school record holder, at least for a season, and I think that's just going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to do that with just all the Vermillion girls on one team.
So before this, where did you play softball? Club softball or traveling teams, anything like that?
Yeah, I played on a traveling team, and it kind of fell apart this year, so we're not actually going to be playing this summer. But, yeah, I've been playing on the Flames team in Vermillion for the past, 5-6 years, I think.
Okay. All right, so you're going to look maybe for another team to play on this summer, or?
I don't know yet. I don't really think so. I think I'm just going to stick to school ball.
Okay.
And see where that takes me.
Well, that'll be great. That'll be good. Well, let me ask you this. Now, this is one that has stumped some people, but it doesn't. It doesn't have to be too big. But what is something about you that if somebody heard it, they would be surprised? And that could be something that you like or like to do, or even something that you don't like or don't like to do.
Well, I'd say a fun fact about me is that I'm really good at braiding hair. If you see Brooke Jensen, I do her hair before every game, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And I was never able to braid hair. Heck, this is going to be the second shout out my dad gets, but my daughter, for years didn't even want to get her hair cut. She'd get a little bit trimmed, obviously the dead ends, but it'd be long and she'd want it braided, and I just did not have the coordination. Somehow my dad, this 65-year-old at the time farmer, was able to braid her hair when we were out there, and so he would just sit there and braid it, and that is a skill I never had, and I have just been amazed. So, and to look at Brooke's hair, that is quite impressive. Congratulations on that one.
Thanks. She always has crazy hairstyles she wants me to try, so.
Well, you're knocking them out of the park so far that I've seen this season, so good job.
Thank you.
And now, sometimes this question people haven't thought about it too much, and sometimes they have. But what, and you can put any timeline on this that you want, but what do you hope, or what would you like the future to hold for Maya Halverson? And this can be in 5 years, you're at Harvard studying law. In 10 years, you're doing whatever. In 30 years, you're President Halverson. Whatever you want, whatever timeline you want to put, what are some goals that you have for your life?
Well, I definitely want to go to college. I've definitely thought about what I want to do, but nothing is really stuck. So I think I want to do something medical just because I really like science and stuff. And yeah, I don't really know.
Well, and you have plenty of time. I tell you, it's funny, when I was your age, I thought about being a sports broadcaster. And then I got away from it. I went and studied political science, which is a fun degree, but absolutely worthless. And I just kind of circled through things. And now, here, this many years later, I'm doing exactly what I thought I'd do, X number of years ago. So, life will always throw things at you. But, so yeah, having an idea is good, but being able to kind of move with the punches is also good. So,
yeah.
Well, I tell you what, this 8 minutes, every one of your teammates and yourself have made these interviews so easy. They always fly by. Before we're done here, one final question. Anything you'd like to say to the listeners on the radio or people viewing this on YouTube, to those fans of Vermillion out there?
Yeah, I just say we're really thankful for all the support we've gotten this season, and it's just always fun to have a big crowd at the games. And we know that a lot of people watch the live streams too, and we're just really thankful for that. So keep coming out and supporting.
Well, that sounds great. Well, Maya, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I appreciate you. Sorry I was a little bit late on the call, but you have yourself a great rest of your day. And I hope to maybe touch base with you either later this season or maybe during softball. Does that sound okay?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, you have a great day. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That was Maya Halverson of the Vermillion Lady Tanagers here on our Tanager Talk. We hope you enjoyed getting to learn just a little bit more about Maya Halverson.
You want somebody to come into your home and fix everything right the first time, look professional, act professional, treat you with respect, you gotta call Kaylin's. When they come in, I feel that they want to be there. I feel that they want to help me.
You know, they put on the little booties over their shoes. They had canvas from the garage door all the way down to walk on. They left the furnace room in the basement probably cleaner than it was when they came in.
They just do customer service very well. I would recommend Kaylin's to anyone.
Interior technician.
Hey, troublemaker.
What'd you do? What did I do about what?
Don't be coy with me, Jerry.
All the ladies in the salon were gabbing about it.
So why are you in hot water?
No. I'm not in hot water. At Intech, we use hot water. Our trained technicians use a hot water extraction process to deep clean your carpets without leaving behind any residue.
Wait till the Bunko Gals hear this.
Oh, brother. When you need it clean, call the Intech team.
The first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Welcome back to the Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment pregame show. We're coming at you from the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota, where the Vermillion Tanagers and the Wagner Red Raiders are getting ready to do battle in some Valentine's Day Class A basketball here in the state of South Dakota. And again, as we mentioned, our Tanager Talks, we've been trying to bring you as many of the varsity players as possible. And we did have a chance to sit down with junior guard Connor Rorick. And here's that conversation with Connor. Connor's been playing in some regular rotations, did not play the last game against Irene Wakanda, but Connor has seen extensive minutes in various games, and here's that interview with Connor Rorick.
We're here with our next Tanager Talk, and on the line we have Connor Rorick. Connor, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Are you going to be watching the game?
Yeah, obviously.
Now, are you a fan of either team or just a fan of football?
I personally am not a fan of either team, but my dad is a huge Chiefs fan. He's watched them and loved them his entire life.
All right.
I'll personally be rooting for them.
Yeah, well, see, and that's who I'm going to be rooting for as well. Jack Cochran, former Coyote, is on there. And I'll just be honest. I'm sure I'm going to anger somebody, but I find Eagles fans just to be a little bit insufferable.
I honestly will agree with you, Michael. They just seem to always be celebrating the littlest things.
They do, and then I don't know, and I get, and I'm probably a little jealous as a Vikings fan. I've never had anything to celebrate, so there's probably a little bit of jealousy there. But no, I'll be rooting for the Chiefs as well. So,
and that's one thing you and I have in common. We are both Vikings fans. So,
and man, and I know I thought this year was going to be the year, but it's just they played fast and loose with the end of games too often. I knew it was going to bite them at some point. So.
Yeah, I knew it couldn't last forever.
No, but we'll love living the dream while we can, right?
Yep.
Well, I know I'm calling you. We're in the basketball season, but I know you also play football. You're wide receiver on the football team. Are there other sports that you play?
I also play baseball in the spring and summer.
You do? Okay, so you play on the high school team in the spring, and then in the summer, do you play for Legion?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were part of the Legion Championship this past summer?
Yes, I was one of the few non-seniors.
Awesome. Well, that had to be a great feeling.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing, especially being with those upperclassmen for one last ride. It was a lot of fun being with them and Gregory and just having a lot of fun on the baseball field.
Well, that is awesome. What position do you play in baseball?
I kind of play all around. My favorite is probably first base, but I also play second base. I play a lot in the outfield, and I also am a closer for pitching.
Really? All right. Well, that takes a certain mindset to be able to go in a jam or a late inning save situation or even just a hold situation. So congratulations. That's awesome. Now, what is your favorite sport of the three?
Personally, I like basketball the best, but baseball is not too far behind it.
Okay. Who are some of your favorite players in any of your sports that you like?
I don't really. I do love. So not really a player, but a coach, Bill Self, is one of my favorites to watch. He's always.
Nothing worse than having to sit though, especially when you play on it. When she's a start.
They've been consistently great. I know they haven't gotten over the top a lot. People probably think he's underachieved, but I always think he has them consistently there and just does a great job. So Bill Self, good call on that one. Vikings fan and a Bill Self and a Kansas basketball fan. Man, you're checking off all the boxes here.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, no problem. Well, we're getting towards the end of the basketball season, and with the slow start, with the postponements and the cancellations, honestly, it feels like we're just getting started and we're actually getting right to the end. How has this season gone for you? How have you felt about it?
You know what? I've felt really good so far this season. I felt it's really nice trying to just contribute to the team in any spot I can, whether it's practice or getting a couple minutes here or there on varsity. It's been really nice to help the team out, and especially as the season's gotten rolling. It felt like it's gone by really quickly, but I can feel it starting to wind down a little bit, and we're just starting to get ready for the postseason.
Yeah, and I think we're, like I said, we're talking on Super Bowl Sunday. I really think the last three games, Irene Wakanda, you guys fought through. Things weren't going your way, but you fought through. You got the victory. You got the win against Redfield. You played Dakota Valley to the very end. It really feels like this team's finally maybe gelling and coming together at just the right time. That I think if somebody's overlooking you guys, I think you guys can bite some people in the behinds.
Yeah, I agree. This is when we gelled together and we've been playing like we have the last couple of games. We are not a team you want to be playing in the postseason, especially a team like Elk Point or Beersford or even who we really want a shot at all three of those guys. We could end up playing all of them in the postseason, and that's really a matchup we'd like to see.
Yeah, and I think so too. I think, you guys have finally found a rotation that's kind of working, getting the right players in there at the right time. And, yeah, I think you guys are a completely different team than you were early on. And you had some of these close losses, and you mentioned the T game, and that was just one that, man, got out of the gates poorly, and just it's tough to recover on one of those. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the rest of the postseason.
Yeah, I am too. It's going to be really nice to see us try to get a shot at any of the teams we've lost to close.
Yeah, I think so too. So, well, I kind of want to talk a little bit about you. And some of these questions, you might not have thought of too much, but we've talked about the sports that you play and anything like that. Now, this is one that has stumped a few people, but what is something about you that if somebody heard it, they would be surprised? Now, this could be something that you like or like to do, or something that you don't like or don't like to do. And it can be about sports, it can be about school, it can be about just about anything.
Not really about me, but our family did get a puppy about 3 months ago, so that's pretty interesting.
Okay. What kind of puppy?
Another thing I really like to do is I also really like to play video games. That's something I'm really real fond of.
Okay. Well, we're going to follow up on both of those. First, what kind of puppy did you get?
We got a black lab.
Ooh. Now, is it going to be used for like hunting or just kind of a house dog? What do you guys?
It's kind of a house dog. We're not really hunters.
See, I'm not either, but I thought black lab, that might be a purpose. So, all right. Well, I'm a big dog lover, so I think that is great. And then what kind of video games, what are your go-tos?
I really love the sports games, more like a Madden or a NBA 2K. Those are kind of my type of game.
Okay. Well, that is good to hear. So, all right. Well, that is interesting to know. And now let me ask you this. And you can put whatever timeline you want to on this, but what would you like to see for your future? And that could be in a few years being at college, what you maybe want to study, 10 years, what you want to be doing for a job, or 30 years if you want to be President Rorick. What is something that you would like to see for yourself? And you can put whatever timeline you want to on that.
Well, in the near future, I'm really looking into college. I mentioned Kansas before. That's one that I'm looking into. But I also am really kind of a homeboy. I kind of want to stay in Vermillion. That's one that I've been really looking into and really interested.
Okay.
And in the further future, down the road, I kind of want to be a teacher or more of a high school coach and just try to make an impact on as many kids as I possibly can.
Okay. What do you think you'd want to teach?
Really anything. I personally am more of a fan of history. I think that would be a lot of fun for me.
Okay. Well, yeah, see, I'm a big history buff, so that was one of the things I always considered was maybe being a history teacher, and I do some cultural programming in Yankton, and it's fun, so I can totally relate to that, and if it's a vehicle for getting you to be able to coach, that is something great as well. So let me...
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So let me ask you this. Actually, over 8 minutes already, so, I just wanted to give you one last question here. What is something that you'd like to say to the Vermillion fans that might be listening on the radio or watching this on YouTube?
I just want to thank everyone. You guys make the Birdcage an absolutely amazing place to play. Every time I walk out there for warm-ups or during the game, I just hear the crowd, I hear the band, I hear everybody, and it just gives me goosebumps. So I just want to thank everybody for showing up and showing out, and even if you're parents, fans, just some random person who walks in, we just want to thank you for showing up, and we're really proud of what you guys do and how you guys help us out.
Well, I think that was perfectly said, Connor. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. And maybe during the baseball season, I think we'll be doing some broadcasting of that. I'll get a chance to reach out to you again if you'd be interested.
Thank you, Michael.
Hey, thank you. And go Chiefs. And that was Connor Rorick, guard for the Vermillion Tanagers, here on our Tanager Talk. We hope you enjoyed getting to learn just a little bit more about Connor Rorick.
What's worth?
Traveling to Vermillion for Tanager football, basketball, or just traveling through? The Red Roof Inn in Vermillion is a place to stay, offering great rates, clean rooms with an awesome continental breakfast. Red Roof Inn does whatever it takes to make guests feel comfortable, making your trip the best possible. And furry friends stay for free. Located on Cherry Street in the heart of Vermillion. Call the Red Roof Inn in Vermillion to make your reservation.
Nice.
Maytag appreciates a compliment, but this Maytag washer isn't just eye candy.
Wow.
Inside, it's got the capacity and power to handle even the mightiest loads.
I love this.
Yeah, she's a beaut.
It's a he.
How do you know?
Don't worry about it.
Find Maytag products and the industry's best appliances at your local dealer, Merce Appliance, downtown Vermillion.
Did you know it's easier than ever to find the live stream for your team now at fullerdigital.net? No more searching. One place for all your live streams. fullerdigital.net. Home and away. If we're covering your team, the live stream videos are at fullerdigital.net. Just click on your school and you'll find the stream. Thank you for viewing the FDS live streams, and thank you for sharing it with your friends and family so they can find the games too. fullerdigital.net.
We are back here on our Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment pregame show, coming at you from the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota, on the campus of Vermillion High School. So we've heard from our Tanager Talks. Now, last game, Irene Wakanda, Coach Brooks was not able to make it up for our halftime show. We wanted to give you a little update. The girls only have one regular season game left. That is this game coming up Friday in Parker. That is a boys-girls doubleheader. But we kind of wanted to recap the season as we prepare to head into regions. So they'll play Parker on Friday, and then they will play Parker again on Tuesday. So here's a brief interview from earlier today with Coach Brooks of the Vermillion Lady Tanagers.
We're back with our coaches conversation, and we have Coach John Brooks of the Vermillion Lady Tanagers with us. Coach, it's not game day. You have a Tuesday off. You have a few days off before your next game. How are things going for you?
Yeah, it's a nice little break for us. You know, we've been at it pretty hard over the last few weeks, so to get some practice time and just kind of get some downtime, rest up here before Regions hits is gonna. Yeah, I think it's gonna be really nice for our team.
And you mentioned Regions. You know, you guys just have the one game left against Parker, and then all of a sudden it's Regions. And honestly, this season, I think because it got off to such a weird start with so many postponements and cancellations, it really feels like we're just getting going. And all of a sudden it's Regions next week. How has that been for you and the girls? It's tough.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast it hits. You know, you kind of get into January there, and it seems like such a grind. You're playing 3 games a week, and you're playing tough opponents, and it kind of just mentally and physically wears you out. And then it's all of a sudden February hits, and the next thing you know, you blink, and Regions is right around the corner. So it really does go very quick, and we're very fortunate right now to really have all of our kids back and fully healthy and all those types of things, and that's what we want this time of the year.
Well, and you mentioned having all the kids back and fully healthy. You know, Livy Rignaris seems to be hitting her stride out there. You know, she's hit a couple of threes, I think, and she just looks comfortable out there on the court. And you're kind of getting some rest up. Having this time off will be good. But you guys, if anybody faced a harder schedule than you guys, I'd really like to see it. I mean, you guys are right up there with all of the top teams that you played. And it really didn't give you a chance to look too far down the road because you always had a tough opponent coming up, whether they were ranked, receiving votes, or just always a tough conference play. So how mentally wearing can that be when you're dealing with that 2 to 3 times a week?
I hope that that's what has prepared us for postseason is that, not being able to look too far ahead because we really did have to focus on every single game because every game was so difficult. And it's going to be that same approach once region hits. You got to take care of the game in front of you. You can't look ahead. Our region is extremely tough this year. Just trying to get out of our region is going to be an absolute battle. And there's going to be some teams that get left home in our region that do not make the SODAC 16 that probably deserve to be there. So it's going to be very difficult. And we're lucky to have both those games at home. I think that's an advantage to us. And we'll see, there's still a lot to be said this week with games going on, and we'll see who we draw. Obviously, we know that we're going to have Parker first round. So we're going to get them back-to-back last game of the season, then first round against Parker. If we're lucky enough to survive Parker, then we'll see who we get next.
And that's that's the tough part too when you start getting into regions, the different potential teams to play. So at least when during a regular season you have who you're playing 2 games from now, 3 games from now, even if you're not focused on them, you can kind of keep an eye on maybe what they're doing or who they're playing. Right now, you'll play on a Tuesday and then you're not going to know for sure exactly who you're playing the next game, and so that creates a whole new element. But your team really seems to be hitting a stride. They came off that loss against Hamlin, that tough loss, and they've looked really good since then. They almost look like a renewed determination out there, and your rotation seems to be really playing well together. How good are you feeling heading into this final game of the season and then heading into regions?
Yeah, I think we're playing well, and I think kids are gaining confidence at this time of the year, and that's huge. You need everybody to play well in order to win these big games. And, maybe that loss against Hamlin relaxed us a little bit. It kind of took that undefeated monkey off our back, so to speak. And, the girls are able to settle in after that. And like I said, we're getting some good rest right now. I think just mentally getting some rest right now is nice as well. We had yesterday for practice, we kind of had a fun practice where we got some conditioning and shooting in after school. And then we actually went to Pizza Ranch, and we had the girls on the golf simulators and had a little long drive competition out there, and they played some games. And then we were able to come back to our 4th and 5th grade girls practice last night. So our high school girls popped in there for a half an hour and played with those girls, and were able to hang out with some of our youth kids. So a really cool, fun day for our team yesterday. And now we know tonight, Tuesday here, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll get 3 really good practices in before we play Parker on Friday.
Well, Coach, I think it was much needed for your team. It's been a grind. I'm glad to see that you guys got to relax a little bit, just have a little fun together as a team. That's as important as anything for that chemistry, and so great to hear. Well, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. We'll talk with you before Parker, but you have yourself a great Valentine's Day.
All right, thanks a lot, Michael. You too.
That was Coach John Brooks of the Vermillion Lady Tanagers here on our Coaches Conversation. We'll be back after these messages from our Vermillion sportscasters here on ESPN Radio 1015 AM 1570 KVTK, kvtk.com, and Vermillion streaming on YouTube.
Your crew is craving Pizza Ranch? It's easy to order online at pizzaranch.com. Online ordering makes it fast and easy to order craveable crispy ranch chicken or build your favorite pizza exactly how you like it. And now, for even more convenience, place your favorite order with just one tap. So when you're craving pizza or the country's best chicken, go to pizzaranch.com and start your order. For craveable food and convenient online ordering, there's so much to love at Pizza Ranch.
We are back with our Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment game pregame show from the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota, on the campus of Vermillion High School. It's Michael Schumacher along with Jen Ashley and Zach Spear. Zach Attack? No, what do we call you?
It was Zach Daddy.
Oh, yeah, the Zach Daddy. And what's Jen's nickname? Jen, do we have a nickname for you yet? All right, Jen's going to be thinking of a nickname, so write those in. Write them in on YouTube, what Jen's nickname needs to be. So, we had our coaches interviews. I got a chance to sit down with Josh Davies of Wagner earlier today. And here, Wagner is 7-9 on the season. Currently, they are also in 6th place in their region. That's Region 5A. They're a young team, much like Vermillion. They started off with pretty much no returning leadership, varsity experience, and so they are going to be much like Vermillion. They're kind of hitting their groove at the right time. So here's that interview with Coach Josh Davies of the Wagner Red Raiders. We're back with our Coaches Conversation, and we have Coach Davies with the Wagner Red Raiders on the line. Coach, it's Valentine's Day and it's game day. How are you feeling today?
Kids are excited. It's getting towards the end of the season, so we're looking to fine-tune some things before postseason starts and kind of get some momentum and things going our way here before we start region play.
Well, it's hard to believe, and I know you guys got hit harder with weather than we did, but the way the season started with all the fits and stops and starts, it really just felt like it was just starting to get going, and all of a sudden you turned around and girls' regions are next week, boys are shortly after. It's like, where did the season go?
Yeah, we actually we lucked out. You're right, we got a lot of snow, but as far as our schedule was, we only had to reschedule 2 contests.
Really?
And we got them both in on a Monday in January, so it wasn't horrible for us. I know a lot of teams struggled with trying to get all their games in and had some crazy weeks where they played 3, 4, or 5 games even in a week, but we didn't really have to do a lot of that, luckily, the way things kind of fell in place. But yeah, you're right. It just kind of flew by once we got rolling here in the first part of January, and now here we are 5-6 weeks later, and boom, we're 4 games away from postseason. So yeah, you're right. It flew on by here this year.
It really did, and yeah, I mean, well, it's good that you guys didn't have to reschedule too much because my family owns a duplex in Pickstown, and so yeah, it'd be like, oh yeah, we got 24 inches of snow. It's like, holy moly. So that's good that you guys didn't get hit too hard with it, but yeah, it just really feels like it's getting going. And now you guys have had a pretty solid season. Obviously wins are always the goal, but it seems like your team is improving throughout the season. You talk about the fine tuning. It feels like maybe you guys are hitting your stride at just the right time.
Yeah, we graduated a ton of talent last year. We graduated 2 kids that started for 4 years for us, and if you look at some of Wagner's all-time basketball records, those kids are on that list. And we didn't know coming into the year how were we going to react to that. And we did suffer some of those growing pains early in the year where, as coaches, we were so used to our kids knowing, hey, we're going to go zone in this situation. We're going to go man here. We're going to we're going to run this set here or there. And we all kind of went through that together. And after we kind of figured some things out and got a few games under our belt, things kind of started falling into place. And as a coaching staff, we've been thrilled with the work ethic of our kids. And we've been thrilled with the result we're getting, And 7 wins is a pretty decent number for what we had coming back. And obviously, your goal is to win 20 of them, but not many teams are going to do that. But even some of the really good teams we played this year, I like the way we competed. We've kept a lot of games close, and so it's been a great year for that. Watching these kids get better, grow together, play together, and I think that's one of our strengths is our team chemistry and our teamwork has been really good. And I mean, you can't put a price on that, as far as kids playing together and trying to work together to accomplish that common goal. So, it's been a great season. It's been a lot of fun, and it's always fun to coach kids that play hard, and we do. We're going to get out there and get after it and give it our all every night. So, and the results have been good.
Well, and you talk about bringing it all and bringing that energy, and that's one of those things that offensively, you might be missing shots, you might be not hitting from the outside, but if you're bringing energy, that's going to translate on the defensive end, and it almost always translates on offensive rebounds. And those are things that give you second chance opportunities. Is that something that you find your team doing a lot when they're bringing that energy every night?
Our strength all year has been defense. And when we play well, we're out denying, we're out tipping passes, we're getting steals, we're trapping, we're doing things, being aggressive. And we kind of knew at the beginning of the year, hey, we're going to struggle scoring points, and we're going to struggle rebounding because of our lack of size, and we're not terribly physical. But, man, our guard play, we got 3 senior guards out there that really work hard to get after defensively. And defense is an attitude, kind of like rebounding is an attitude. And like I mentioned before, we have that attitude on defense that's where we kind of pride ourselves. And so we're going to get out there and we're going to really work hard and try to make things difficult for the other team. And with good defense, then sometimes that turns into good offense. And so we've had our nights where our defense has kind of sparked our offense, and we've made some shots, and we've gotten those fast break points. And, every coach wants those, I guess I call them easy baskets. And I mean, I understand that sometimes no basket's easy, but the easy baskets for us are free throws and layups. And so a lot of times your defense can create those things for you.
Well, and that's exactly right. And, I was looking at your team's statistics, and it doesn't look like you have any one player that you just say, okay, this is our go-to guy. It does really look like a team concept. So on your team, who are some players that you'd like to highlight that, we're probably going to be hearing from tonight, or we might not hear from tonight, but are leaders on the team, whether it's in practice or anything like that, just players that you want to make sure get recognized?
Well, I will say the one guy that we have relied on all year, you're not going to hear from tonight, is Chris Nelson. And Chris has been a great leader for us, but the reason you're not going to hear from him tonight is he is gone. And it's actually a pretty neat deal. He's out in Rapid City tonight riding broncs for scholarship opportunities, and he's got a chance to possibly get some major scholarship offers for bronc riding. And so, he really he fought hard in his mind on what to do, but we kind of talked to him and said, hey, this is about your future. So you get out there and you go do that, and we'll go line it up without you and try to play as best we can. But and then that's something that he needs to go do for himself. But he's been a leader for us all year. He's a 3-year starter and been a hard worker on defense and leads us in scoring. But we talked to the boys in practice yesterday and said, hey, this is an opportunity for some of the other guys to step up. And some of those other guys, Matt Link's been a senior leader for us this year, has played great defense, and he gets a lot of his points on steals and layups, and he works hard in transition. And Connor is another one who plays a lot like Matt. He's another small guard out there that he's a 100-mile-an-hour guy. He's got one speed, and it's all out all the time, and he gets after it defensively, and he gets a lot of his points that way. And then you talk about some of our bigger guys like Ted Slava. He's a 6'3" forward, but he can step out and shoot the three a little bit. He plays the mid-range game a little bit. He makes a tough matchup for people. Carter Canoyer is our 5th starter that he gets in there, and he works hard at the block. He's a big-bodied kid. He puts tons of time in. He's physical. Then you talk about some of our bench players, like Carter's twin brother Joey's stepped up, and he's another kind of Ted Slava type kid where he's a forward, but he can step out. He can play inside. He's kind of all over the place. Preston McFadden comes off the bench for us. He's probably our best three-point shooter. Put the ball in the hole for us all year long. I think he's shooting around 41% from the three-point line, and I feel like anything in the 40s in high school is pretty good. And you got Parker Petrie, who's been playing better and better for us. He's a sophomore, plays down low, very physical. He's kind of your football player on the basketball court, but man, the kid works hard, and he's one of those that we're super excited about because every night he goes in there, he's like, as coaches, we're like, he's getting better. He's improving. He's using both hands. He's figuring out on defense. So we're super excited about a lot of those younger kids too, but we do have a nice mix of good senior leadership and good young kids to step in there and bring us some energy.
Well, that is great. And so Chris will be probably riding Bronx about the same time as game time, or will that be in the afternoon, or will we kind of know some results?
I'm not too sure exactly. It sounds like he's going to be, it's a 2-day deal. He told me he wasn't going to be at practice tomorrow either. So it sounds like he's going to be out in Rapid for a couple days doing that. And like I said, he was kind of battling that yesterday, but you got to do what you got to do for your future. And so, yeah, he's going to be out there doing that, and the boys are supporting him in it, and we all hope it goes well for him. So
well, that is a great opportunity, and you have to take those when you can. And so, yeah, no ill will for that's for sure. So, well, I appreciate you mentioning that. Now, the team you're facing, Vermillion, they kind of were like you, not much experience coming in, graduated a lot of leadership, especially over the last 2 years, and they've been steadily improving as well. When you look at Vermillion, what are some things you see from that team that give you concern, but also maybe give you thoughts of opportunity?
Every year we play Vermillion, the number one thing we talk about is their defense and how they get out. Like I've kind of mentioned how we play, they kind of take it to another level. They get out there and they're face guarding, they're denying, they're in passing lane. Every pass is difficult. Every screen needs to be set at a good spot. Every cut needs to be run off of a shoulder so we can get guys open. Because if we don't do those things fundamental, Vermillion is a team on our schedule that's going to really expose that. And so that's one thing we've kind of worked on in practice yesterday, and what to do when teams overplay you, what to do when teams are denying you, how we can make a few adjustments to our offense and maybe make some things go for us. But Coach Drake's always done a great job of getting his kids out there and playing really good man-to-man, solid defense. Vermillion's always got nice guard play. They've always got that one or two guys inside too that make things difficult for you. So, our main focus is we just have to handle that defensive pressure. We got to take care of the basketball, and we have to rebound. And I feel like that's probably every coach's focus in every game, and is rebounds and turnovers. And that's we talk about it all the time. But it's going to be really, really important in this game just because of the style of play Vermillion's going to bring to the table.
Well, I think that was a great analysis. And, Coach, I want to thank you so much for carving out some time to talk with me today. Really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you guys on the court tonight. And you have yourself a great day.
Hey, thanks a lot.
And that was Coach Davies of the Wagner Red Raiders. We'll be back after these messages from our Vermillion sportscasters here on ESPN Radio 101.5 AM 1570 KVTK, KVTK.com, and Vermillion streaming on YouTube.
Safe means you're sort of protecting yourself. My mom and dad told me how to be safe. It's like super duper important. Hold a grown-up's hands. Put a helmet on because you might hurt your head super duper bad.
Protect their future by protecting yours with your local State Farm agent, Dick Sunday.
2401 Broadway Avenue.
Welcome back to the Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment pregame show here in Vermillion, South Dakota, as we are at the Birdcage in Vermillion on the campus of Vermillion High School. We had a chance to sit down with Coach Jay Drake, head coach for the Vermillion Tanagers. They currently sit in 7-10 on the season, coming off a victory over Redfield on last Saturday, a near historic, 2 Saturdays ago I should say, a near historic upset at top-ranked Dakota Valley, as well as a victory on the road over Irene Wakanda. Coach Drake discusses carrying that momentum into tonight and through the final 3 games of the season. Here's that conversation. with our coaches conversation, and on the line we have Coach Jay Drake of the Vermillion Tanagers. Coach, it's Valentine's Day, it's game day. How are you feeling?
Good. Like you said, game day here, and good to just be back home in our gym. Obviously, not a doubleheader tonight, just boys, but C, JV, and varsity, all three levels getting to compete. And I felt a week ago tonight, our last time in the home, in our home gym against Dakota Valley, not just our varsity game, but our C team played very well, and also the JV team. So hopefully we can build off of the last time we were at home and build on that tonight.
Well, and you're right. A week ago, playing the top team in not only in the class, but possibly in the state. And your boys brought it. You gave them everything that they could ask for. And so, yeah, hopefully you can build off that. It really seems like your team is coming together and kind of hitting a stride. I know the Irene-Wakanda game wasn't everything that you were hoping it would be, but like you said, you came out with a victory. I think you mentioned there are games where you get the win and maybe you think you shouldn't have, and there are games where you don't get the win and you think you should have. How do you build upon these last two games heading into your final three of the regular season?
Yeah, you learn a lot, obviously. Kind of like you said, last week we probably finished the week kind of the way I think a lot of people would have thought, going 1-1. In reality, it probably should have been flipped around the way the games went. We probably outplayed Dakota Valley. We probably deserved to win that basketball game, and yet on Friday night, Irene-Wakanda probably deserved to win the game. But that's what that's sports sometimes. Looking back on Friday night, the one positive, I guess, for our group is, we did pull it out in the end. And that was huge probably for us just from a, even though we thought maybe we took a step backwards from the DB game and didn't really build on that. And yet, it's been a strange year because a lot of our games, the close games we've had that have kind of gone down to the final couple minutes. Obviously, Tri-Valley before Christmas, the Madison game at Madison a month ago, was a 2-point game with about 1:40 left, and then they end up winning by 8. Beersford a few weeks ago, and then even the Dakota Valley game. All four of those games were tight late in the game, one-possession games with a minute or two left, and we fell short of those. So in this situation, because sometimes, that can be draining, especially late in the season if you don't come out on the good side of a close win. So to be able to pull one out late, obviously, hopefully we can build on that just in case we're in any close ones, and we expect to be in close games here down the stretch. And now the big thing is going into this week, we got a Wagner team that Coach Davies always gets to play very hard. They're physical teams always, and we know we'll have to play well again, but we feel in these last 3 games starting tonight that if we can play well and play to our ability, we feel these are games that we'd have a chance to win in the fourth quarter.
Well, and that's really, really right. These last few games that you have, you'll have some that are very comparable teams that'll play you tough, and it'll kind of hone you for the regions and stuff like that, but they're all very winnable. And again, like you said, you take it one game at a time, but Wagner's in front of you, and Coach Davies, they're kind of very similar to your team in that they didn't have a ton of experience coming back, and they seem to also be kind of trying to gel at this time. And so when you look at that team, what are some things that you see that you think are opportunities for you, and then what are some things that concern you?
Yeah, the first thing is, one, they're in a similar boat in their region, Region 5. They're 7-9 right now and kind of battling for seeding and where they're going to be in the postseason. Coach Davies always does a great job. His teams always play extremely hard, and then they're always very physical. And, they've got guys around 6'2", 6'3", and even their 2 returning guards, the Link kid and the Nelson kid, they both started last year. That's probably the 2 kids that have the most experience for them. But they're, 5'9", 5'10", but they're strong kids. And they can get going, just like some Wagner teams in the past. It's nothing fancy, really, but they like to get out and push in transition, so you got to be able to slow them down there. And then they'll shoot a lot of threes, too, and we've got to get out and guard the three-point line because anytime a team's capable of coming in and maybe knocking down 9-10 threes on a given night right there, that can get you in trouble in a hurry, and especially the way we've been. We've had trouble scoring at times. It seems like no matter who we play, we're anywhere from the mid to high 40s to maybe the lower 50s, but it puts a lot of pressure on your defense. I'm sure they'll mix it up defensively. They've played some man, but they've also played some zone, and we've had trouble at times against zones. You know, if we're not shooting well from the perimeter and then not finishing around the basket in the paint, just puts a lot of pressure on you. So we've got to be able to kind of create some things with our defense, hopefully in the full court. Maybe we can get some easy ones off that. And like anything, one big thing for us probably the last 2 weeks, 4 or 5 games, we haven't been rebounding the basketball well enough. And then with a physical team like them, it's a concern. But we need to do a better job as a team rebounding the basketball, finishing possessions on the defensive end, and then getting us extra opportunities with offensive boards.
Well, and you talk about rebounding, and Carter Skogsberg over the last few games has really come on, and he's been a pretty steady influence. What do you look to improve the rebounding from a team aspect? What are some things that you try to focus on then?
Yeah, we always tell our kids that's the one stat in basketball that we're asking our guys to all just be selfish. You know, obviously the game of basketball, you want to be an unselfish team, offensively playing together, working together and stuff. But I think rebounding the ball is the one thing that we don't care who gets them, but we've got to have the mindset of everyone kind of doing their part. And, we always stress we want to have, when we're on offense, we want to have a safety back to prevent anything in transition, but we should have 4 other guys attacking the offensive boards and just trying to make hustle plays there, getting us extra possessions. And on the defensive end, all 5 guys got to get a body and go get the basketball. But, Skogs has been solid, like you said. We visited with our team yesterday about that. For a senior captain, he's just been, it's nothing fancy, but you just kind of know every night what you're going to get from him, both on the defensive end, rebound of the basketball, just working hard and his effort. And he's kind of been the backbone and anchor of our defense with everything we do, protecting the paint and stuff, and just consistent. And you can learn from that, and that's what we're looking for across the board. Is we just need everyone being consistent, and then we'll be consistent as a team. When we got guys kind of up and down all over the place, then that's how we're going to look as a basketball team as well. And even though we're getting to the end of the year here, there's still time to improve on that. We got 3 more regular season games here in the next week going into the postseason, and we're just trying to look for that level of consistency that you need going into the postseason.
Well, and mentioning Carter and protecting the paint. And we had this discussion about him and his brother, but he broke the charges taken record the other day. Is that correct?
Right. He Noah Gilbertson a few years ago with our state tournament team had the single season charges taken. Noah's also the career record holder. But, Noah had 21 a couple years ago. And Carter Skogsberg, he'd really had a nice stretch here. I think it started with the Garrettson game. In mid to late January, but he's had over the last probably 2-3 weeks, he's had 4 different games where he's taken three charges in a game, and he's up to 23 for the year now. And like I said, that's huge. Just sometimes just getting other guys from the other team in foul troubles, getting an extra foul on them, taking a charge, and then you set the tone that kind of affects them offensively too, knowing that we have guys that will.
We are back here at the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota, where they have finished introductions. Starting for Wagner will be Matt Link, Preston McFadden, Glenn Cornoyer, Ted Slava, and Carter Cornoyer. Starting for Vermillion, Zone Robinson, Carter Hansen, Wyatt Gestring, Trey Hansen, and Carter Skogsberg. Jumping for Vermillion will be Carter Skogsberg. Jumping for Wagner, Ted Slaba. Vermillion wins the tip. Here's Zone Robinson. Wyatt Gestring in the left corner for 3. No good. Rebound, Matt Link. for Wagner. And they're down low to Carter Cornoyer, up and good.
Quality shot selection right there.
Here's Trey Hansen over to Carter Hansen. Zone Robinson on the right for a long three, and that is good for Zone Robinson. That was a skip pass from Carter Hansen on the assist. There's a three-pointer for Preston McFadden. Makes the score 5-3 with 6:38 to go here in the first quarter. Here's Carter Hansen on the right-hand side, down to Zone Robinson. Up to Carter Skogsberg, up and no good. No good for Carter. Rebound to Glenn Cornoyer. Here's Matt Link in the paint. Gets it out to Glenn Cornoyer. Guarded by Zone Robinson, drives in. Turnaround jumper, no good. Carter Skogsberg was expecting it to come off the rim, did not see it, and so Cornoyer got his own rebound. Here's Link into the lane, up and good for Matt Link. And Wagner is out to a quick 7-3 lead in the first 2 minutes. Here's Zone Robinson. Wyatt Gestring, Trey Hansen, top of the key for three, no good. And rebound to Zone Robinson. Short jumper up and good for Zone. Zone has 5 points on the night. Wagner brings the ball up, 5.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Three-point attempt is no good, just off the fingertips of Carter Skogsberg. Nope, unfortunately, Zach's microphone is not working. And here's a three-point attempt by Preston McFadden, no good. Rebound to Zone Robinson. Here's Carter Hansen on the left-hand side, gets it out to Zone. Zone down to Gestring on the lower right corner for three. No good, rebound Skogsberg up and, oh, no good again. Carter Skogsberg's just not having much luck. Calling a foul on looks like there's a discussion here. Not sure if they're trying to technical foul on Carter Skogsberg. And that is Carter's first personal. Second team, there's also a foul on Trey Hansen. So Preston McFadden goes to the line to shoot two. First free throw is up and good for Preston McFadden. Gives him 4 points on the night. Second free throw up and good. Gives him 5, makes the score 9-5. Bryson Skogsberg comes in for his brother Carter. Carter was frustrated. There's a lot of contact down low on his shots. That's un-Carter-like to get a technical, so you have to wonder exactly what happened. Three-point is no good. Rebound to Zone Robinson. That is Zone's third rebound on the night. Zone for three, no good. Rebound to Preston McFadden. Nope, Glenn Cornoyer. Here's Matt Link at the top of the key, drives in on the right-hand side, gets it out to Glenn Cournoyer. Drives in on Bryson Skogsberg. Gets trapped underneath, gets it out to Ted Slava for three. No good, rebound, Carter Hansen. Carter Hansen gets out to Trey Hansen. Trey gives it back to Carter on the right-hand side, back to Trey. Trey for three. No good, rebound to Carter Cournoyer. So 9-5, 3:49 to go here in the first quarter. Wagner with the ball, Preston McFadden over to Matt Link. Link drives into the lane, picks up his dribble, gets it off to McFadden. Stolen away by Carter Hansen. Gets it ahead to Zone Robinson under the basket, turns around, and they're going to call a foul on McFadden on the shot. That'll be McFadden's first personal, first team. Zone Robinson's first free throw is up and good. Second free throw is no good. Makes the score. Makes the score 6-9, 3:15 to go. They're going to call an offensive foul in the lane. 3 seconds, actually, not an offensive foul. And Zach, are you on now?
I think I am.
There you go.
Right. Now I just can't hear.
That's okay. I'll talk loudly. Here's Gestring from the lower right corner. No good. Rebound to Joey Cournoyer. Here's Glenn Cournoyer. Back out to McFadden. McFadden for three, and that is good. McFadden hits his second three of the night, makes the score 12-6 with 2:38 to go here in the first quarter. Bryson over to Trey, back to Carter, back to Trey, back to Carter, Hansen. And they're going to call a blocking foul on Matt Link. That'll be Link's first personal, second team.
Lots of contact there. Wasn't sure. It looked like they both initiated a little bit of that contact.
No, I agree. I agreed. I was worried they were going to call it on Carter Hansen there, but they didn't. So down low to Carter Hansen, back to Trey Hansen, under the basket, and he is fouled by McFadden. That'll be McFadden's second personal.
What a beautifully drawn up play that was. On the inbound, right down low, so the defense swarms. He slides right under the basket.
Yep, and it was. And so he was fouled on the shot. He'll shoot two. Trey Hansen's first free throw is up and no good. On the season, Trey is shooting 69.8% from the free throw line. And he does hit the second. Makes the score 12-7, 2:22 to go here in the first quarter. Ball is to Glenn Cournoyer, back to Link. Link drives in. Gets it back to Glenn Cournoyer. Back to Link at the top of the key. Gets down into the lane, gets it into Joey Cournoyer. Blocked down low, and that was blocked by Bryson Skogsberg. Here's Zone Robinson on the right for three, and that is good. Zone Robinson is feeling it tonight.
These Tanagers, they kind of started out slow to start the first quarter, but now they're all of a sudden catching fire, only a 2-point game.
12-10 with 1:39 to go. That ball hit Zone in the face, and that was got over to Parker Petrie, makes it 14-10.
And just a defensive breakdown. You know, no shot should be that wide open down low.
Bryson Skogsberg for three, no good. Rebound Joey Cournoyer. Gets it off to Glenn Cournoyer. Here's Matt Link at the top of the key. And that pass is too long, out of bounds.
think he was thinking Parker was going to slide down. Instead, he actually moved up, causing a little bit of a miscommunication. Ball just soared out of bounds. No one with even a chance.
No, exactly. So here's Carter Hansen off the block on the lower right. Vermillion in their white uniforms with red numbering and black trim. Wagner in their red uniforms with white numbering and black trim. Here's Bryson Skogsberg on the left-hand side on the perimeter. Here's Carter for three. And no good. Doesn't get much closer to falling than that one. 40 seconds to go. 14-10. Wagner leads.
It seems to be kind of common for the Tanagers as well.
Yep, and they're going to call an offensive foul, I believe, on Petrie. Yep, Parker Petrie with his first personal, fourth team foul. So 35.7 seconds remaining in the game in the first quarter, 35 seconds on the shot clock. So the shot clock is turned off for the time being. And Ethan Kerner has checked in. So on the court now, Gestring, Kerner, Robinson, Carter Hansen, and Bryson Skogsberg.
Definitely looks like they're going to milk the clock for everything they can. Try to get the last shot, cut it down to a 1 or 2 point game here.
So 8 seconds to go. Ball to Bryson Skogsberg. Skogsberg for three. That was way off, unfortunately. Joey Cornoyer with the rebound. 1 second, Matt Link with the long three-point attempt. No good. At the end of one, Vermillion trails Wagner by a score of 14-10. We'll be back in 1 minute here on ESPN Radio 1015 AM 1570 KVTK, kvtk.com, and Vermillion streaming on YouTube.
Let's be real. You have a business to run, people to pay, money to make, and a life to balance. Good thing you also have First Bank and Trust. With our cash management solutions, you can issue payroll, accept payments, and manage cash flow, all while tapping into some of the best fraud prevention tools available. When managing a business is easier for you, so is managing a family. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Knutson Family Dentistry in Vermillion, they strive to provide the highest quality patient-centered dental care in a friendly, relaxing atmosphere. Knutson Family Dentistry works hard to provide the best cosmetic, general, and emergency dental treatment in the area. With over 50 years of combined dental experience, the latest dental technology, and a professional and compassionate staff, they're your top choice for dental care. Call for an appointment at 605-857-8008. Knutson Family Dentistry of Vermillion.
We are back here at the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota, where at the end of one, Vermillion trails 14-10. In that first quarter, Vermillion was led by Zone Robinson, who scored 9 of the Vermillion Tanagers' 10 points. The other point came on a free throw by Trey Hansen, whereas Wagner was led by Preston McFadden with 8 points, Matt Link with 2, Carter Cornoyer with 2, and Parker Petrie with 2. Here's Carter Cornoyer down low, gets it down to Ted Slaba. Slaba over to Link in the right-hand corner, up to Preston McFadden. And here's Matt Link, drives the lane. Stolen away by Carter Hansen. And Carter takes it coast to coast, and he is fouled on the shot. Makes the score 14-12, looking for the old-fashioned three-point play. And he was fouled by Ted Slaba. Ted Slaba, that is his first personal, 5th team foul for Wagner. Back in for Vermillion is Carter Skogsberg. So Carter Hansen hits his free throw, giving him 3 points on the night, and brings Vermillion within 1. So on the court for Vermillion, that was stolen away by Gestring on a deflected pass by Zone Robinson. Gestring gets it back to Zone Robinson. And Zone is in double figures just like that. And that ball is stolen away by Zone Robinson, fouled by Matt Link. That'll be Link's second personal.
Looks like the Tanagers have figured out the Raiders a little bit here, forcing turnover after turnover and really capitalizing on them. That's why they win. That's why they're winning right now.
Exactly. 15-14. Tides have turned. 5 points scored in the first 50 seconds of this second quarter. Carter Hansen in the paint with the floater, and that is up and in. That little floater is Carter's specialty. That gives him 5 points on the night. And just like that, 1 minute into the second quarter, and Vermillion has a 3-point lead. And that ball is knocked out of bounds by Preston McFadden. And that is going to be a timeout for Wagner. That'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll take a timeout with them here on ESPN Radio, 1015, AM 1570 KVTK, kvtk.com, and Vermillion streaming on YouTube. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple, helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Pump and Pack told me to keep this video simple, so I don't need to tell you about the great selections on drinks. You probably already know he has a South Dakota DMV Now kiosk to renew your license plates. Snacks, too many of those to even mention. Oh, and when you fill up at Pump and Pack, Kevin gives a portion of the money back to a charity. I guess I really don't know what to talk about. Simple enough. Pump and Pack in Vermillion.
Back here from the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota, where 6:52 to go here in the second quarter, and Vermillion has taken the lead. They're up 17-14 and have possession. Trey Hansen, Carter Hansen, Carter Skogsberg, Wyatt Gestring, and Zone Robinson on the court for Vermillion. Here's Carter Hansen, gets it over to Trey Hansen. On the court for Wagner, you have McFadden, Slaba, Link, and Glenn Cornoyer, and Carter Cornoyer. Here's Carter Hansen down to Trey Hansen. They're going to call Trey with the travel. So 6.5 minutes to go. Vermillion leads 17-14. Being led by Zone Robinson with 11 points and Carter Hansen with 5. The other lone point is by Trey Hansen with 1. And here's Carter Cornoyer. Gets it out to Matt Link. Link drives in, kicks it out to McFadden. McFadden for 3, no good. And that rebound by Slaba. And the putback for 2 makes it 17-16 here in Vermillion.
That was just a great second chance opportunity by Slaba there.
It really was. You know, that was just a good opportunity, good effort on his part. Here's Gestring. Gets it over to Carter Hansen in the lower right corner. Carter out to Zone Robinson on the lower right corner. Over to Wyatt Gestring, down to Carter Skogsberg, just off the block. Backs in, off the bottom of the backboard. 5:42 to go, Vermillion leads 17-16. Link at the top of the key, over to Glenn Cornoyer. Down to Slava, up and in. And Coach Drake is going to call a 30-second timeout. We'll just keep it right here.
We're seeing a lot of back and forth. Seems like each team kind of keeps figuring out the other team's game plan. A little bit, the Raiders just came out hot, and the Tanagers really had no way of stopping them. Then all of a sudden they're doing this full court press defense. It's working fantastic, causing turnovers. They're getting fast break points. Didn't even really need any ball movement outside of one outlet pass. And now all of a sudden, looks like the Red Raiders are figuring out how to get past that Vermillion full court press.
Yeah, exactly. And leading the way for right now for Wagner is Preston McFadden with 8 points. And Ted Slaba is also one of the leading scorers. You know, they're just hitting it from all sides. You know, Slaba has, I think he has 6. So here's Trey Hansen bringing the ball up. Carter Hansen for 3, and that is good. Carter has 8 points on the night. Makes the score 20-18 with 5:14 to go here in the second quarter. Matt Link kicks it out to Glenn Cornoyer. Cornoyer drives in, turns around. Boy, he's blocked there, but met by Slaba. Gets it out to Slaba at the top of the key. Hands it off to Link. Link over to Slaba. And there's another case. Oh, they're going to call Wyatt Gestring with a hold, I think. Interesting.
It would make sense at least for the fact of why that pass looked like it was so way over the head.
So Gestring comes out. Bryson Skogsberg comes in. 4:53 to go in the second quarter. Vermillion leads 20-18. McFadden over to Link. Link out to Slava. Slava for three, and that is good. That gives Slava 9 points on the night. So 21-20, Wagner back on top. Here's Vermillion trying to go ahead. Bryson Skogsberg for three, and that is good. Bryson had a bit of an off-shooting night at Irene Wakanda. It's good to see him getting back into the rhythm of things. Vermillion back up 23-21. Ball stolen by Bryson Skogsberg, and he is tied up. That means that ball will be going to Vermillion.
And I like how you were saying about Skogsberg having an off-shooting night. Even today, he kind of started out. He took a couple shots and missed. I'm really glad that he's not shying away from taking more, though.
Yeah, and as an eighth grader, you could easily see somebody start to shrink just a little bit. Here's some good ball movement by Vermillion. Trey Hansen at the top of the key for three, and that is good for Trey.
In this game, back-to-back threes. That's 4 straight now.
That it is, and Vermillion is now up 5, 26-21, 3:52 to go here in the second quarter. Here's Link at the half-court line, gets it over to McFadden. McFadden over to Glenn Cornoyer, back to Link. Here's Carter Cornoyer, up and no good. And they're going to call a foul on Carter Skogsberg, and he was straight up and down. That one's a rough call. That's Carter's second personal, 4th team.
And it's tough because there's been a lot of contact down low between Cornoyer and Skogsberg.
And you know that the lack of a call on the other end is what ended up getting Carter, I think, a technical, is because he was voicing frustration. First free throw by Carter Cornoyer is no good. Second free throw, short rebound, Carter Hansen. Carter Hansen takes it coast to coast, up and in. That gets Carter to double digits.
Just caught the Raiders sleeping. No one seemed to even want to get back, and by the time he was already up in the air, they had just set their feet down low.
And Carter Hansen is going to get himself a foul. That'll be Carter's first personal, 5th team foul.
What do you think, Michael? I think that one was the right call.
That was. Carter just couldn't get himself stopped in time. He ran directly into him. And Carter knew it as soon as he made contact. It was too much contact to ignore. Here's Link in the lane, out to Glenn Cornoyer for three. No good. Rebound, Trey Hansen. Trey skips it out to Carter Hansen. On the left-hand side, Carter drives in. Bounce pass to Bryson Skogsberg for three. Oh, no good. Rebound, Glenn Cornoyer. Gets out to McFadden. Down to Carter Cornoyer. Backing in Carter Skogsberg. And this time they're calling an offensive foul on Carter Cornoyer. And I'll admit, it might be a makeup call. That one's as an iffy a call as the one against Carter Skogsberg was.
Yeah, but like we said, there was a ton of contact. And we saw Skogsberg hit the floor.
Exactly, and so Cornoyer and McFadden come out. Petrie and Joey Cornoyer come in. So Glenn Cornoyer, Joey Cornoyer, Matt Link, Parker Petrie, and Ted Slava on the court for Wagner. Zone Robinson, Trey Hansen, Carter Hansen, Bryson Skogsberg, and Carter Skogsberg. Carter Hansen out to zone. Zone over to Trey Hansen. Trey Hansen drives in. Baseline, up and good. That was a nice move by Trey Hansen.
Yeah, it was an athletic move. Stay in the air long enough to clutch and bring it back up.
They're calling it on. There's no 32 out there. They're 40. I'm not sure who they called.
I think they're calling it on Bryson.
22, but not a foul, I guess. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a strange situation.
That was a strange run of events there, sequence. Here's Link over to Glenn Cournoyer. Brings it down to the lower right corner. Gets it out to Link on the right-hand side at the top of the key. Drives the lane. Out to Slava, down to Carter Cournoyer, up, and they're going to call him with the travel. And that was Joey Cournoyer, sorry. Joey Cournoyer with the travel. So with 1:54 to go, suddenly Vermillion has a 9-point lead. They can make this double digits. One thing we do want to mention, Wagner is playing without their leading scorer, Chris Nelson. He is in Rapid City at a bronc riding competition that has scholarship money on the line. And there's steal by Wagner. And the coaches and his teammates told him to go. And I think that's just great teammates right there. Here's Ted Slava. That ball's knocked away by Zone Robinson. Robinson drives the lane up and in for Zone. That's 13 points for Zone and his second steal. And just remember, our Dakota Realty and Property Management Player of the Game, chime in on Vermillion Streaming to help vote, and that's another steal by Zone Robinson. Out to Bryson Skogsberg for 3, and that is good. Bryson Skogsberg with 6 points.
Tanager team just can't miss right now. It seems no matter what they take, it's going through.
And suddenly Vermillion is up 14 points to go with 1 minute to go before halftime. Carter Skogsberg with the steal. Here's Carter Hansen into the lane, gets it out to Trey Hansen. Trey for 3, no good. Rebound, Joey Cournoyer. 44 seconds to go. Wagner looks to try to cut into that 14-point deficit. Ted Slava, 4-3, and that is good. That gives Slava 12 points. First player for Wagner in double figures. So 35-24, shot clock is off. 25 seconds to go in the first half. Carter Hansen over to Zone Robinson, down to 20 seconds. Here's Carter Hansen. Back to Trey at the top of the key, right, pretty much in the center jump circle. 9 seconds, they'll start the offense here. Trey Hansen down to Carter. Carter drives in, gets it out to Zone. Zone drives in, gets it off to Bryson. Bryson for 3, no good. And that's the way the first half will end. Vermillion leads 35-24. We'll be back in 2 minutes here on ESPN Radio 101.5 AM 1570 KVTK, kvtk.com, and on Vermillion streaming on YouTube. Here are some ads from our Vermillion sportscasters.
Need a new set of tires? Look to Carlson's Body Shop in Beersford. How about some accessories like WeatherTech floor mats, Access roll-up truck covers, bed liners, remote car starters, and thousands of other products. Hey, you can look at everything at your convenience online too at carlsonsbodyshop.com. No wonder the song says,
Bring it down to Carlson's Body Shop, your complete car care center.
Hard isn't for the weak-hearted. You're the first one to punch in and the last one to clock out. Every project, every day. Your hobbies are no different. Miles of scouting, hours of planning, 1 split second with everything on the line. Can you trust your equipment? Work or play, Runnings has the gear you need to be the first one out there and the last one to leave. The farm, the field, or even at home, Runnings has what you need.
Is your invitation to thrive in Yankton, South Dakota. Nestled on the bluffs of the Missouri River, plenty of outdoor adventures are waiting. Whether you work remote or in a traditional office, we have a spot for you. Quality health care, diverse manufacturing, progressive school system, Mount Marty University, and so much more. Explore with family and friends. Let's thrive together.
We're a little bit different here at Vermillion Federal Credit Union. See, unlike banks, we're a member-owned not-for-profit institution, meaning members like you are the owners, and the profits are returned through better fees and lower rates.
Hey you, down in front!
And since our members are our owners, we exist to serve you and make sure that you're as comfortable as possible here. So come on in and act like you own the place, because you do.
Open your free checking account today. Vermillion Federal Credit Union.
At the half at the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota, Vermillion on the heels of a 25-point second quarter lead Wagner by the score of 35-24. At the end of the first quarter, Wagner actually led 14-10. So that second quarter, Vermillion outscored Wagner 25-10. Leading the way for Wagner, you have you have Ted Slaba with 12 points, Preston McFadden with 8, and then Matt Link and Carter Cornoyer with 2 each, totaling their 24 points. For Vermillion, Zone Robinson with 13 points and Carter Hansen with 10, already close to their averages. Zone Robinson averages 13.5 points per game. Carter Hansen averages 11.1 points per game. Also following, you have Trey Hansen and Bryson Skogsberg with 6 each. Trey averages 7.5 points per game. Bryson averages 7.7 points per game. Carter Skogsberg does have 2 fouls. One of those was a technical, and that dealt with a lot of the contact that was happening under the basket and not getting called. Seems like that's kind of equalized. They're calling it a little bit more out there now. For Wagner, Ted Slaba is leading the way. He averages 6 points per game, so getting 12 tonight is already doubling his average. Preston McFadden's right at his average, but as we mentioned, Chris Nelson, their 5'11 senior guard for Wagner, is not in the lineup tonight, and that is because he's in Rapid City for a 2-day bronc riding competition that can lead to some scholarship opportunities. And his coaches said, boy, he went back and forth on that, but they supported him going. They told him he should go. His teammates told him he should go. They actually took a vote. And so, that shows the kind of team that they have. And so Chris Nelson's in Rapid City. It'd probably be different if this were the last game of the season, but there's still more games for them to go. So they're missing their senior leader, who's been a leader on the court, a leader in scoring. And so we just want to make mention of that. But they are a good team. They're just like Vermillion. They've been young all season, and now they're kind of getting their experience underneath them. And so in that first half, it was a really battle of 2 quarters. Vermillion got off to a slow start, couldn't really hit at the beginning, but they really picked it up, and their 3-point shooting really improved in that second quarter.
Yeah, and I think this, you could pretty much 3-and-D. That's about all you would need to say, and that's really the difference of why the Tanagers are leading by 11 at halftime after being down after the first quarter. They really haven't changed much on the offensive side of the floor. It's just that their shots are falling now. They've taken 17 3-pointers and made 6 of them. I would take that any day of the week.
Well, you're exactly right. And, here's the other thing. Wagner's actually out shooting Vermillion from the field. They're 9-17, but that goes back to your defense. They're not always getting the ball down to get a shot. Vermillion already has, according to my records, 8 steals on the night. Zone Robinson has 3 of them. So that's been a big part of it for this team. And I think if they can keep up that defensive effort, we'll see hopefully a good victory for Vermillion tonight.
Yeah, and it's not even just the steals, because that doesn't show the bad passes that end up going out of bounds, the travels, anything like that, offensive fouls. There have been so many turnovers for Wagner, and like you said, they may have a better shooting percentage. They're just not getting up the volume of shots, and Vermillion all of a sudden they hardly missed it all, especially from 3-point range in that second quarter.
Well, that's exactly right. And so that'll be something to keep an eye on. So we'll be back after this 2-minute timeout featuring on this Carlson's Body Shop halftime show. We'll be looking at some scores from around the area. Not too many to probably give you yet, but we'll be back in 2 minutes here on ESPN Radio 101.5, AM 1570 KVTK, KVTK.com, and Vermillion streaming on YouTube.
Midwest Ready Mix Equipment is your locally owned and operated ready mix company. Their specialty, 6x6 front discharge mixer trucks that allows for better placement of concrete and ease of use. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment offers the highest quality of concrete products and aggregate, and also a full-service dealer for Logon equipment featuring telehandlers, excavators, and ASV track skid loaders for purchase or rent. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment, East Highway 50, Vermillion.
Perfect night of sleep can be found with Slumberland's Sleep Solutions Center. Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Sealy all feature. Don't lose another night of sleep. Stop by Slumberland of Yankton. Looking to update the family room? Look no further than Yankton Slumberland. Lazy Boy, Flex Steel Furniture, and more. All at your hometown furniture store. That's Slumberland of Yankton.
You can feel beautiful in your own skin. Candice Couture offers intimates to make you feel your best. Whether you want to feel beautiful for a night or you just want to feel frisky. Candice Couture also offers mastectomy bras, prosthetics, and nursing bras. Candice Couture, 17 West Main Street, Vermillion. We are beautiful in every aspect life throws at us.
Last week, a guy walked into the UPS store in Vermillion. He did not notice the copiers, the printers, the mailboxes, the banners, the posters, not even the business and shipping supplies. It was like he had blinders on. Hi, this is Jay with the UPS store in Vermillion. Many people don't see everything we have to offer when they stop by the UPS store to ship their packages. They miss all the things we have, like printing, designing. We even offer notary services here at the UPS store, located on Cherry Street in Vermillion.
Back here at the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota, we're getting ready to bring you the second half of the Vermillion Tanagers versus the Wagner Red Raiders. Just a second here. We're on our Carlson's Body Shop halftime show. We appreciate you being with us. And as we said, on the Carlson's Body Shop scoreboard, Vermillion's led by Zone Robinson with 13 points. Carter Hansen with 10, and Trey Hansen and Bryson Skogsberg each coming in with 6. So as we get ready to start the second half, really the rotation for Vermillion included Bryson Skogsberg and Ethan Kerner. Those are the only 2 bench players that came in for Vermillion, but if Vermillion's able to maintain this score and lead and maybe extend it, expect to see more players playing for Vermillion. On the Carlson's Body Shop scoreboard in Class B, Castlewood, receiving votes, Castlewood trails number 2 in Class A, Sioux Valley, 23-17. That's the only score in boys action in Class B. In Class A, it's the only other score in Class A right now. And in Double A, Pierre leads Brookings with 5 minutes left to go in the second, 31-21. In girls action, Pierre leads Brookings 32-17. That one's in Brookings. In Class A, Sioux Valley over Castlewood, 51-49. Flandreau over Baltic, 46-15. Garrettson over Parker, 47-29. With 2 minutes left to go in the third. Esteline Hendricks over Flandreau Indian, 52-30. And here we go with the second half. Wagner does begin with the ball. Matt Link. Matt Link out to Preston McFadden. McFadden over to Link. Link drives the lane. Gets it back out to Ted Slava. Slava for 3. No good. Off the back iron. Rebound by Trey Hansen.
Surprised to see that one not go in. Slava's been pretty much on the spot here tonight.
He really has. And there's Zone Robinson for 3. No good. Rebound Carter Hansen. Hansen gets it down to Zone Robinson in the lane. Zone up and no good. And that rebound to Preston McFadden. McFadden gets it out to Link. Link gets it over to Glenn Cornoyer. Back into Carter Cornoyer. Matt Link out to Slava at the top of the key. Glenn Cornoyer, here's McFadden for 3. Off the back iron. Rebound again to Carter Hansen. Out to Wyatt Gestring for 3. Oh, in and out, but rebound Carter Skogsberg up and good for Carter's first 2 points of the night.
Skogsberg is way too big for Preston McFadden down low.
And McFadden stepped over the line when he had the ball. So that is a turnover to Vermillion. So 37-24 with 6:42 to go here in the third quarter. Vermillion leads.
That's a turnover you don't see often.
Nope, here's Zone Robinson for three, and Zone has 16 points on the night. 6:34 to go, 40-24. Vermillion has extended that lead to 16 with a 5-0 run here in the first minute and a half of the second quarter. Here's Glenn Cornoyer, drives the lane, caught under the basket, gets it out to Carter Cornoyer. Carter gets it out to McFadden. McFadden out to Glenn Cornoyer for three, no good. And every Tanager boxed out, and nobody went and actually got the ball. Here's Glenn Cornoyer, drives in, up, and that was blocked by Carter Skogsberg, picked up by Trey Hansen. And Trey Hansen is fouled. Matt Link will be with his third personal foul, first team foul.
And that's something that Wagner struggled with in the first half, so we'll see if their foul troubles continue.
Exactly. Here's Carter Skogsberg over to Trey Hansen, down to Carter Hansen with the short jumper, and that is good. Gives Carter Hansen 12. So both Carter Hansen and Zone Robinson have exceeded their averages for the year, per game averages so far. Here's Preston McFadden with Vermillion leading by 18 now over Wagner. Matt Link into the lane, short jumper, no good. Carter Skogsberg with the rebound. Carter Hansen to bring it up, gets it over to Zone. Zone back to Carter, Carter back to Zone. Zone for three, no good. And Wyatt Gestring will be called with the over the back on the rebound attempt. That'll be Wyatt's second personal, first team of the half.
Yeah, and Wyatt knew right away. He knew he was over the back.
He did. He did. And so here's Carter Cornoyer over to Preston McFadden, over to Ted Slaba. On the left-hand side to Carter Cornoyer. It's down to Glenn Cornoyer. Back into Carter. Gets out to Matt Link, over to Glenn. And that ball is stolen away by Carter Skogsberg into the hands of Wyatt Gestring. Here's Carter Hansen. Thought about the three, gets it over to Wyatt Gestring. Wyatt Gestring out to Trey Hansen. Trey with 6 points on the night. Drives in. Shot is no good. Rebound Carter Skogsberg. Up and no good. Lots of contact. Skogsberg hits the deck. Doesn't say a word though. He knows better now. Preston McFadden with the spin move on the block. No good. Carter Hansen with his fifth rebound of the night. Zone Robinson's drive is blocked. Carter Skogsberg, his shot will not fall.
Skogsberg just pulling down those offensive boards, it seems, every single possession for the Tanagers.
Yeah, Skogsberg has 5 rebounds all of a sudden. Now there's a three-pointer for Preston McFadden. And that gives McFadden 11 points on the night. 42-27, halfway through the third quarter. Carter Hansen over to Wyatt Gestring. Wyatt for three. Oh, no good. Wyatt just not falling tonight for Wyatt.
Yeah, and for Vermillion, it seems that either they're, for each individual player, either they're on or they're not. And that's why we see Zone Robinson 16, and we see Carter Hansen with 12, and multiple players with none.
And here's a 30-second timeout by Vermillion. So we'll be back in 30 seconds after this message from our Vermillion Sportscaster sponsors here on ESPN Radio 101.5 AM 1570 KVTK, KVTK.com, and Vermillion streaming on YouTube.
Feed has served the area for nearly 100 years with the goal to continue this local family-owned business for the long haul. Johnson Feed is proud to be a part of the Vermillion community with a facility ready to repair, wash, and sell tires for all trucks and vehicles. Johnson Feed has room for drivers too. If interested, talk to the friendly folks at Johnson Feed. They have over 200 company trucks to deliver products throughout the country and over 375 company employees. Johnson Feed wish the best to the Vermillion Tanagers this season.
In Vermillion.
Back here on Vermillion Streaming and ESPN Radio, we're coming at you from the Birdcage in Vermillion, where Wagner trails Vermillion 42-27. Wagner inbounds the ball. Here's Carter Cornoyer to McFadden, back to Slaba. Slava over to McFadden. McFadden over to Cournoyer. Down to Link across the timeline. And they're going to call Carter Hansen with the foul on the floor. That'll be Carter's second personal. Second team of the half.
Both teams have done a pretty good job this half so far, just avoiding foul trouble. Only 3 total in the half.
And here's McFadden at the top of the key. McFadden over to Link. Link back to Slava at the top of the key. Back to Link on the left-hand side. Link over to Slava, or no, to Joey Cournoyer. Here's Slava for 3, no good. Rebound, Carter Skogsberg. Gives Carter 6 rebounds. Down to Bryson on the block. Ball is knocked out of Bryson's hands. He got in with a couple of trees in there, and he just couldn't go up with it. Couldn't go anywhere with it. Here's McFadden. McFadden has 11 points to match his number. Carter Cournoyer up and over Carter Skogsberg.
Great post move right there. You know, something you love to see, just don't see as much of anymore.
Exactly, and those are Cournoyer's first points of the night. Here's Trey Hansen at the top of the key. Over to Bryson Skogsberg. Bryson for 3. Yes, that is good. For Bryson, that gives him 9 points on the night.
And speaking of season averages, he's above his.
He is, and that steal by Bryson. Over to Trey Hansen. Trey Hansen's at 8. He's right above his season average now, too.
Fantastic pass there by Bryson Skogsberg. We just need to call that out. Fantastic play.
And they are going to call a jump ball. But that was a steal attempt by Bryson Skogsberg. That's the second jump ball he's created. And that one will go to Vermillion.
And he's really had himself a quiet, really good game.
He really has. So with 2:20 to go here in the third quarter, Vermillion leads 47-29. Zone Robinson over to Bryson Skogsberg. Bryson no good. Rebound McFadden. Pass ahead to Link. Link hits the block. Goes right around Zone Robinson. Up and in for Link for his 4th point of the night. Vermillion's lead is 16. So a minute 56 to go. Here's Trey Hansen on the left-hand side. Gets it. Oh, tried to do a cross-court pass. Stolen by McFadden. Pass ahead to Link. And that'll be off of Link. Nope, they're going to say off of Carter Hansen. I thought it was off of Link's hands from this angle, but...
yeah, I thought Link, it almost looked like he dribbled it out of bounds. So surprised to see the call to go the way it did.
That's what I thought, too. So here's Carter Cournoyer, out-guarded by Carter Skogsberg. The two bigs out on the perimeter. Here's Matt Link over to McFadden. McFadden for 3, no good. Oh, rebound to Cournoyer, Slava, up and in. And Bryson Skogsberg just didn't time his jump right. He had great position, but that gives Slava 14 points on the night. Trey Hansen for 3, that is good. Nothing but net on that one. Gives him 11 points on the night. So Vermillion has 3 players in double figures and Bryson Skogsberg just on the cusp. Vermillion now leads by 17, 50-33 with a minute to go in the third quarter. Joey Cournoyer gets it out to Matt Link. Link over to Preston McFadden. Down low to Carter Cournoyer. Knocked out of bounds by Carter Skogsberg. Nice job by Carter to get that ball pass out of the air.
Carter Skogsberg is having a fantastic defensive game so far. He's knocking away almost every single pass that tries to make its way down low to the block.
He really is. Here's Link. Trapped by Trey Hansen. Into the hands of Zone Robinson. Zone ahead to Bryson Skogsberg. Skogsberg up. No good. Rebound Carter Hansen. Turnaround jumper is good.
I'm not really sure what happened there. Did he try to pass it? It got knocked back into his hands or what?
I think it got blocked and knocked into the hands of Carter Hansen. Here's Matt Link. Gets it over to Ted Slaba. Slaba down to Cournoyer. Cournoyer guarded by Trey Hansen, up and in. That is a bit of a mismatch there size-wise. 4 seconds to go. Carter Hansen over to Zone Robinson. Zone for 3. Oh, the bank does not go. But after 3, Vermillion leads 52-35. We'll be back in 1 minute here on ESPN Radio, 101.5 AM 1570 KVTK, kvtk.com, and Vermillion streaming on YouTube.
Feel sometimes trapped at work, surrounded by four walls, working the same task daily? Well, here's an opportunity. Larry's is hiring for installers and service technicians. These positions mean that you are out and about at a job site with a different situation every day. No experience needed, we will train you. Larry's offers great pay and benefits. Apply for our installer or service technician position by stopping by our Yankton location at 2401 Broadway Avenue or online at larrysheatingandcooling.com.
In a situation like this, the first thing you do, of course, is make sure everybody's okay. And then you're thinking, you better call your insurance person. No, just call Justin. At Vermillion Auto Works, you see Justin handles all the insurance claims and gives free quotes. Not everybody does the free quote thing anymore, you know. So call Justin at Vermillion Auto Works. He'll take care of the situation. Carrying WeatherTech, Rough Country, and Tuxedo. Vermillion Auto Works.
Back here at the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota, along with Jen Ashley and Zach Spear. We're coming into the fourth quarter where Vermillion leads 52-35. That quarter they outscored Wagner by a score of 17-11 in another fast-paced, frenetic quarter for this game. Wagner starts off with possession. Here's Matt Link over to Glenn Cornoyer. Vermillion starts off with Gestring, Robinson, the Hanson brothers, and Carter Skogsberg. Ted Slaba for Wagner up with the three. No good. Rebound, Zone Robinson. And Zone Robinson just lost control of it. Matt Link picks it up, gets it over to Preston McFadden. McFadden did a spin move, tried to pass it, gets it out to Link. Back over to McFadden. McFadden drives, gets it off to Carter Cornoyer. Guarded by Gestring. Back out to Preston McFadden. Over to Link, over to Slaba. Slaba drives in, 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Link with the short jumper, and that is good. That gives Link 6 points on the night. And that is 2 points below his average. So 52-37, Vermillion leads. Zone Robinson with the ball. Gets it back to Trey Hansen. Trey over to Wyatt Gestring. Back to Trey. Carter at the Hansen at the top of the key over to Wyatt Gestring. Wyatt for three. That is good. Wyatt was bound to hit one sooner or later. So those are Wyatt's first points of the night.
Like you said, he was just bound to hit one, and the Tanagers' streak with these threes continued.
Because he was not off by much on his previous shots. They were just kind of rolling around the rim and then out. So here's Slaba. As we know, he's dangerous from three. Wyatt Gestring probably got lucky that he didn't get a foul called there, but here's Glenn Cornoyer. Out to McFadden, over to Slaba. Slaba drives, picks it back up, gets it out to Link. 5 seconds on the shot clock, short jumper by Link. Rebound, Carter Skogsberg. That is Carter's 7th rebound of the night. He's in heavy consideration for player of the game, even though he only has 2 points defensively, and his offensive rebounds have been amazing tonight.
Yeah, and that just shows points aren't the only thing on the scoreboard that matters.
Yep. So here's Carter Hansen over to Wyatt Gestring. Wyatt over cross court to Trey Hansen. Trey over to Carter Hansen. Carter drives the lane, kicks out to Gestring for a three off the front iron. Rebound, Zone Robinson. Gets the ball to Carter Hansen. Hansen drives the lane, short floater, up and in. Well, I think Carter Hansen and Zone Robinson are neck and neck for player of the game. They both have 16 points. Full timeout by Wagner, so we'll take it with them. Back with our Vermillion Sportscasters here on ESPN Radio, 101.5 AM 1570 KVTK, kvtk.com, and Vermillion streaming on YouTube. Back in 1 minute.
You want a lumber yard that delivers more, The Lumberyard, Vermillion, has been going strong in the same spot now for 53 years, helping you find the building solutions you need, offering new technology with old-fashioned friendly small-town service, making the Lumberyard in Vermillion your building supply solution from start to finish.
Back here at the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota. 5:25 to go here in the fourth quarter. Vermillion leads by 20, 57-37. Wagner does have the ball. Matt Link gets out to Glenn Kornoyer. Ted Slava over to Preston McFadden. Back to Link. They try to get it down low to Petrie. Petrie puts it up, no good. Rebound to Carter Skogsberg. That gives him 8 rebounds tonight. As we were saying, though, I think Zone Robinson and Carter Hansen are neck and neck for player of the game at 16 points apiece. Both having great rebounding nights, great defensive nights. Here's Carter Hansen. Cross-court pass to Wyatt Gestring. Wyatt kicks it to the top of the key to Trey Hansen. Trey with the short jumper, no good. Rebound to Matt Link.
Skogsberg was almost able to force an offensive rebound for his team.
He really was. Here's Glenn Kornoyer on the left-hand side. Dribbles across. McFadden for a long three. No good. Rebound Trey Hansen. So 4:19 to go. Carter Hansen gets it out to Trey. Trey back to Carter. Carter over to Wyatt. Down to Carter Skogsberg. Back out to Wyatt Gestring. Cross-court pass to Trey Hansen. Trey, 4-3, no good. Rebound Carter Skogsberg, up and good. That's Skogsberg's 4th point, 9th rebound. And Vermillion is up 22, 59-37. 32nd timeout by Wagner. We're just going to keep it right here. 3:54 to go here in the fourth quarter. Vermillion's up by 22. And amazingly, the numbers are even if you look at it shooting from the field. Vermillion has taken the lead shooting from 3. And rebounds, Zone and Carter both have 16 points. They both have 5 rebounds. Carter has 2 assists to Zone's 1. I have Zone down for 4 steals to 2 for Carter Hansen. So those two are neck and neck. I think right now, if I had to name a player of the game, it's probably Zone.
I would say those 4 steals, that's a great defensive effort. But not to downplay.
Oh, no, just if you have to pick someone, Zone is probably just ooched a bit ahead, and that's about it, you know?
I think I do agree, but there is room for a difference to be made yet in this game.
Oh, yeah, 3:54 to go. And Bryson Skogsberg's in there for Wyatt Gestring. I'm sure Bryson would like to get to double digits and join Carter Hansen, Zone Robinson, and Trey Hansen. Here's Matt Link with 3:46 to go. Preston McFadden back to Link. Down low to Petrie. Petrie drives in, kicks it out to McFadden. McFadden down to Carter Kornoyer. Carter up to Link. Link over to Joey Kornoyer. Drives into the lane. And that is an offensive foul, and that is taken by Carter Skogsberg, who broke the single season record for charges taken last week. He's just adding to that single season record. But that is Joey Kornoyer's first personal, 2nd team foul. Not a ton of fouls this quarter this half at all.
And I think if Skogsberg was playing Joey Kornoyer, he would have broken that record about halfway through this season. We've seen a lot.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of physical play down low.
Yep, here's Carter Skogsberg up and in. Assist to Trey Hansen. And all of a sudden, Carter Skogsberg has 6 points to go with his 9 rebounds. Here's Matt Link. Vermillion leads by 24 with 3 minutes to go. They get it down to Petrie. Bryson Skogsberg almost had a steal. Preston McFadden for 3, and that is up and good. That gives him 14 points on the night to be the leading scorer for Wagner. 2:47 to go. Carter Hansen down to Zone Robinson. Zone with the short jumper. No good. Rebound Joey Kornoyer. Here's Carter Kornoyer up and no good. Rebound zone Robinson. Foul on Parker Petrie. Oh, no, they're going to call it on Joey Cournoyer. I thought it was 24 that knocked him into next week, but I guess not.
Knocked him into next week. I like that one, Michael.
Bryson Scotsburg for three. Oh, he almost joined the double-digit club because all of the reserves are coming in for Vermillion. Here's Joey Cournoyer with 2 minutes to go. Over to Preston McFadden. McFadden gets it down to Carter Cournoyer. Back out to Link. Link for three, no good. Rebound Carter Skogsberg. I have him down for 10. So coming in for Wagner, you have Braxton Knudsen and Theron Zephyr. For Vermillion, you have Cade Roovers, Landon Cerny, Connor Rorick, Trillian Sorel, and Ethan Kerner. Now, Trillian Sorel and Connor Rorick, they were parts of our Tanager talk before the game during our pregame. So if you missed that, go back later and listen to those. Minute 36 to go. I feel bad because I think you have some fans that are just getting here that probably didn't get the notice that this game started at 5:30. And I feel bad because walking with a bit of a cane, and they're just getting here, which would have been the normal-ish time to come for a game. Minute 25 to go. Vermillion up 61-40. Cournoyer out to Petrie. Over to Knudsen. Knudsen out to Petrie. Over to Joey Cournoyer. Joey Cournoyer up, no good. Rebound to Knudsen. And they get it down to Petrie. Stolen away by Connor Rorick. Here's Landon Cerny, drives the lane, kicks it out to Cade Roovers. Cade over to Connor. 42 seconds to go. Vermillion's up 21. Here's Trillian Sorel. Out to Connor Rorick. Rorick for three, and that is good. Connor Rorick with a three.
Have you kept track of how many threes they've made so far? Because there's quite a bit for this Tanagers team.
I have him down for 11. 11 threes.
Which would be over half of their points.
Oh, yeah. And Joey Cournoyer with the turnaround jumper. So 9 seconds to go. Vermillion will just dribble out. And Vermillion will go to 8-10 on the season with a victory over the Wagner Red Raiders. So we'll be back. We're going to talk to Coach Drake. We'll be back with some stats and more after this 3-minute timeout here on ESPN Radio 101.5, AM 1570 KVTK, kvtk.com, and Vermillion streaming on YouTube.
You are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills. We'd love to talk to you about a rock star career. Masaba in Vermillion is hiring full and part-time manufacturing positions for the rock industry. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a clean, safe, and state-of-the-art facility. Masaba offers competitive wages, a fun and interesting work environment and culture. Join our team of rock stars. Visit masabainc.com to learn more.
You want somebody to come into your home and fix everything right the first time, look professional, act professional, treat you with respect, you gotta call Kaylin's. When they come in, I feel that they want to be there. I feel that they want to help me.
You know, they put on the little booties over their shoes. They had canvas from the garage door all the way down to walk on. They left the furnace room in the basement probably cleaner than it was when they came in.
They just do customer service very well. I would recommend Kaylin's to anyone.
Interior technician.
Hey, troublemaker.
What'd you do? What did I do about what?
Don't be coy with me, Jerry. All the ladies in the salon were gabbing about it. So why are you in hot water?
No. I'm not in hot water. At Intech, we use hot water. Our trained technicians use a hot water extraction process to deep clean your carpets without leaving behind any residue.
Wait till the Bunko Gals hear this.
Oh, brother. When you need it clean, call the Intech team.
The first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Traveling to Vermillion for Tanager football, basketball, or just traveling through? The Red Roof Inn in Vermillion is the place to stay, offering great rates, clean rooms with an awesome continental breakfast. Red Roof Inn does whatever it takes to make guests feel comfortable, making your trip the best possible. And furry friends stay for free. Located on Cherry Street in the heart of Vermillion. Call the Red Roof Inn in Vermillion to make your reservation.
Nice.
Maytag appreciates a compliment, but this Maytag washer isn't just eye candy.
Wow.
Inside, it's got the capacity and power to handle even the mightiest loads.
I love this.
Yeah, she's a beaut.
It's a he.
How do you know?
Don't worry about it.
Find Maytag products and the industry's best appliances at your local dealer, Merce Appliance, downtown Vermillion.
Back at the Birdcage here from Vermillion, where Vermillion Tanagers have defeated the Wagner Red Raiders by a score of 64-42. After the first quarter, Wagner led 14-10, but then Vermillion took advantage of a 25-10 second quarter run to take the lead at half, 35-24, never looked back. They outscored them 17-11 in the third quarter and then 12-7 in the fourth to come away with a 22-point lead. Zach, what's your takeaway from this game?
Yeah, it was pretty much that first quarter was the only one that Wagner truly was really competitive with the Tanagers. But what we saw, really the Tanagers, they just started hitting their shots. Like I said, they didn't make a ton of adjustments on offense. Their shots started falling, especially from beyond three-point range. Defense is where they made the big adjustments that I was really happy with what they did. And they started that full court press. Clearly flustered the Raiders. They were turning the ball over, I would say, more than every other possession even for a little while, which just leads to good shots for the Tanagers because the Raiders aren't able to get back in time on defense, so it just leads to wide open shots, and that's where we saw a huge flurry of scoring, as well as just when they quit with that full court press, really they were forcing Wagner to use the entire shot clock and maybe put up some shots they normally wouldn't like. So definitely the defensive side of the ball is where the Tanagers really took over this game.
I agree completely. And, Vermillion, it's funny. They end up with, 64 points, but they only had 6 players score for them tonight, which is, it's rare to see that many points scored and you only have 6 of your players score. Actually, 7. Sorry, 7 players did score for them tonight, led by Zone Robinson, who had 16, and Carter Hansen, who had 16. Trey Hansen had 13. Bryson Skogsberg with 9. Carter Skogsberg with 6 points and 10 rebounds. And then Connor Rorick and Wyatt Gestring each with 3. We do now have Coach Drake with us. And so, Coach, got off to a slow start in the first quarter. Fell behind 14-10, losing at the end of the first quarter, but after that, the boys just seemed to put it together.
Yeah, obviously we're just, lucky to get it in, happy to get it in. This is one at this time of the year, we don't get this in today, we're probably not getting it in. They have games Thursday, Friday, Monday. They're not going to want to know Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday. So earlier in the day, we found out with the weather, their administration basically saying we can either move it up, can't get it moved up. They're probably not coming, just due to what the weather might be late glad the officials could make it at this time. Disappointing for our C and JV teams. They always want to get games in with them, but most important thing is just getting it in. Kind of a roller coaster of a game. Slow first quarter reminded me a lot of the Red Group first quarter, and then had a nice little run, and I think we got up 14-15 there in the second. Hoping we could push it to high teens, but it's 11. And even in the third quarter, there's times we get 17-18, and you're hoping to get it to 20, and they come right back down to 12-13. Finally got a little push at the beginning of the fourth. But some good things we can take from it. Obviously, a lot of room for improvement on some things, too. But nice just to get a win, and we 1-0 this week so far, 8-10 overall. I'm still crack at maybe getting to 10-10 if we finish the regular season off.
Well, that chance at a 500 record, that has to be something that your boys really can look at and say, okay, that we've had an up and down season. We've kind of got, but we're getting our feet underneath us. We're now 3-1 in our last 4 games. So that has to be something that's really kind of something that they can strive for as you kind of prepare and you get ready for regions then.
Yeah, and we actually, you always, for our group going into the year, we didn't talk a lot about just team goals at the beginning of the year, mostly because we're inexperienced, a lot of new guys. We just need to try to find our identity. First time we ever mentioned 500 to our group was in the Garrison locker room about a month ago. We were 3-6. We started the year 3-3. We had lost 3 in a row, and we're 3-6 going into that game. But it's kind of the first time we said, I don't know if a lot of people have given us a chance at going 500 this year. Obviously, we're 3 games under at that time. But we told our group, it'd be a nice goal, something we felt as a coaching staff that's reachable. But we're gonna have to do some things and play well to get there. And here we are at 8-10, and still a long ways to go. But 2 basketball games left. We're giving ourselves an opportunity.
Well, that's exactly right. I did have a question in that first quarter. There was kind of a lot of contact, and you could see some frustration on Carter Skogsberg, but I guess I didn't see anything that warranted a technical, and I wasn't quite sure what they were calling on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't ask the official. Like anything, we forget sometimes officials are humans too. And I think he thought Skogsberg might have mumbled something. Our biggest thing, and what I told Carter, and he knows this, is he had missed a layup earlier in the quarter that he knows he should have finished. And even at that one, even if there was a little contact, I thought if anything, he should be able to finish through that contact. And I think he would agree. He let his frustrations, kind of the first time this year, he kind of let his emotions get to him. And then, like anything, then you're kind of leaving it up. If you show up any kind of an official, even if it's not a whole lot, you're asking for trouble with that. So it happened. He knew he made a mistake, but it changes things too, because he knew as soon, I think it was midway through the first quarter, and we weren't going to play him the rest of that quarter. Plus, it's a individual personal foul to him as well. So he bounced back after that and did what we needed.
Well, and I think he took it to heart, because there was some action down here in the second half, and some of it was pretty physical, and you thought a foul could have been called, and there wasn't. And you could see that he was frustrated, but he didn't let it out in any visual or verbal way. He just went about it. Then all of a sudden on the next one, an offensive foul was called on Wagner. It's like, like you said, refs are humans too. They probably realized, okay, we need to get back into some balance here.
Right. And it's an emotional game. You want guys playing with emotion out there and a lot of passion and stuff. The other side, there's times you got to kind of keep them in check too. And it's one of those things. I don't think he said anything bad or anything, but again, we don't know what the official's hearing as well. So you play through it. He learned from it. We learn as a team, and just go from there.
Well, and as a team, you guys played really well. You scored 64 points, but a lot of balance. Both Zone and Carter ended up with 16 points. Trey with 13, Bryson with 9, Carter, Skogsberg with 6, and then Wyatt and Connor both had 3. Just really balanced game. Nobody, as we were talking about, kind of players of the game. It's there again. You could have 3, 4, 5 players, and it's not all in the points. Carter Skogsberg, I have him down for 10 rebounds. And he took some more charges tonight. Had a couple of steals. Trey Hansen just kind of all over the place. Bryson Skogsberg created 2 jump balls. Those are things that, change momentum because I think we ended up getting possession out of both of those. I thought it was a really well-played game. Has to be really encouraging heading into your final 2 regular season games.
You know, when we're playing our best, that's how we have to play. You know, it's not going to be anything fancy by our team. We're going to try to outwork other teams, do the little things kind of better than the other team. We're not the most skilled or most athletic or most talented team all the time, but we can do some of the other things, play together, control the pace of the game, limit turnovers. We still got to do a better job of rebounding the basketball, but and then everyone chipping in and having some balance and doing their part.
Yeah, and everyone just looked good out there. You know, you have a couple of days off, then we travel to Parker. Again, I said we will be traveling, but you guys are traveling to Parker on Friday and then back home for Canton on Monday. How do you prepare the guys just for that final push?
Right. You know, the big thing this week is our guys are going to have a good practice, obviously. Tomorrow we'll have a morning practice on Thursday because they get out of school at 1:30 due to the parent-teacher conferences, and then they won't be in school on Friday, so that's always a concern. Our last 2 games, both Friday and Monday, our kids aren't in school, and it takes you out of your normal rhythm and stuff. We'll have a shoot-around and talk through things, but like anything, it's just like this. We talk to our group all the time. You can only control the controllables, and the biggest thing is the way we approach things. Today was a little bit off with the 5:30 start, those some varsity games. That we handled it pretty well for the most part, and come Friday, a little different without school and stuff, but you got to be ready to play no matter what, especially this time of the year.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for stopping up here. We really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again on Friday.
All right, thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you. That was Coach Jay Drake of the Vermillion Tanagers following a Vermillion victory over Wagner, 64-42. We'll be back in 3 minutes with our Dakota Realty and Property Management Player of the Game, as well as scores for around the state here on ESPN Radio, 101.5 AM 1570 KVTK, kvtk.com, and Vermillion streaming on YouTube.
Did you know it's easier than ever to find the live stream for your team now at fullerdigital.net? No more searching, one place for all your live streams. fullerdigital.net. Home and away, if we're covering your team, the live stream videos are at fullerdigital.net. Just click on your school and you'll find the stream. Thank you for viewing the FDS live streams, and thank you for sharing it with your friends and family so they can find the games too. fullerdigital.net.
Your crew is craving Pizza Ranch? It's easy to order online at pizzaranch.com. Online ordering makes it fast and easy to order craveable crispy ranch chicken or build your favorite pizza exactly how you like it. And now, for even more convenience, place your favorite order with just one tap. So when you're craving pizza or the country's best chicken, go to pizzaranch.com and start your order. For craveable food and convenient online ordering, there's so much to love at Pizza Ranch.
Safe means you're sort of protecting yourself. My mom and dad told me how to be safe. It's like super duper important. Hold a grown-up's hands. Put a helmet on because you might hurt your head super duper bad.
Protect their future by protecting yours with your local State Farm agent, Dick Sunday.
Let's be real. You have a business to run, people to pay, money to make, and a life to balance. Good thing you also have First Bank and Trust. With our cash management solutions, you can issue payroll, accept payments, and manage cash flow, all while tapping into some of the best fraud prevention tools available. When managing a business is easier for you, so is managing a family. First Bank and Trust. Real banking, real easy. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Knutson Family Dentistry in Vermillion, they strive to provide patient-centered dental care in a friendly, relaxing atmosphere. Knutson Family Dentistry works hard to provide the best cosmetic, general, and emergency dental treatment in the area. With over 50 years of combined dental experience, the latest dental technology, and a professional and compassionate staff, they're your top choice for dental care. Call for an appointment at 605-857-8008. Knutson Family Dentistry of Vermillion.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Back at the Birdcage in Vermillion, South Dakota, where the Tanagers have closed out a 64-42 victory over the Wagner Red Raiders. Scoring for Vermillion, Zone Robinson at 16 points, Carter Hansen at 16 points, Trey Hansen 13, Bryson Skogsberg at 9, Carter Skogsberg with 6, Connor Rorick and Wyatt Gestring with 3 each. In addition, Carter Skogsberg had 10 rebounds, Carter Hansen and Zone Robinson each had 5. For steals, Zone Robinson had 4, Carter Hansen had 2, Carter Skogsberg had 2, Bryson Skogsberg had 2, Connor Rorick had 1, and Trey Hansen had 1. So just a really well-rounded, well-balanced game for this team. For Wagner, leading scorers were Preston McFadden with 14 and Ted Slaba with 14. You had Matt Link with 6, Carter Cornoyer with 4, Joey Cornoyer with 2, and Parker Petrie with 2. So just a really good victory for Vermillion, I think. What are your thoughts on the game? Zach Attack, Zach Daddy.
Yeah, the Tanagers, I mean, really, for the second, third, and fourth quarters, they looked fantastic. They looked unstoppable to that Wagner team. And it wasn't because of one single player. They had, like you had mentioned, multiple players in double digits. Only had 7 players scoring with over 60 points. Kind of unusual, but it seemed like every player that stepped on the court outside of that, final minute and a half made a big impact in their own way.
That's exactly true. And it's great for Vermillion heading into their final 2 games for this. So as we mentioned, they play Parker on Friday. They come home and play Canton on Monday. Canton is a boys-only game. Parker game is a doubleheader. That is the girls' regular season finale. For Wagner, as Coach Drake mentioned, they play Burke on Thursday. They play at Platte Geddes on Friday and then play home against Beersford on Monday. I should mention on February 2nd, Wagner did defeat Andes Central Dakota Christian by a score of 70-47. Now, why do I mention Andes Central, Zach? Do you remember?
No, I do not, Michael.
Jen remembers. Why is it, Jen? Because the feeder school for Andes Central, one of their schools is Pickstown in Charles Mix County. Pickstown is the home and alma mater of one former Linda Harvey, now Linda Harvey Schumacher. And so,
Okay, I remember now.
And we have all the famous alums from Pickstown. Tom Brokaw is from Pickstown. Randy Anderson is from Pickstown. Kenton Weber, class of 69, was from Pickstown. Of course, Linda Harvey Schumacher from Pickstown. Judy Harvey Dyson from Pickstown. Richard Harvey, Uncle Dick, from Pickstown. You have some very heavy hitters that are from Pickstown. So, those are things you need to remember sometimes. And then you think of some of their famous basketball players from Pickstown. Denny Ninsa-Helzer and Randy Anderson and Kenny Rhodes and Jerry Lish from the class of 67. Ron Wentland and Bobby Brown from the class of 68. That class of 69, like I said, Kenton Weber, Lauren Olson, and Mike Ackerman. So you just have to think about, and people like Jan Skorpic, and that, you have to remember people like that from the town of Pickstown. It's a great place to be. It's turned into a town in 1985, I believe, was the year it was formerly Corps owned and is now its own town. It's a beautiful town right off of Fort Randall Dam. I did want to check some scores over on Classic Hits 106.3, KVHT, and on 5-Star Streaming. We do have the AA boys, and that is, it's a AA versus A matchup. It's the Bucks and Gazelles versus Sioux Falls Christian Chargers. And we broadcast the Sioux Falls Christian games here. And the girls right now, the Sioux Falls Christian girls we mentioned, are now ranked 4th in Class A. They are beating the Gazelles by a score, and I am not surprised. There are probably going to be some people that are, by a score of 29-8. The Sioux Falls Christian girls are for real. Also in AA, Spearfish versus Rapid City Christian. And this, of course, is on our Carlson's Body Shop scoreboard. Carlson's Body Shop in Beersford is your complete car care center, serving the area since 1956. All part of our First Dakota National Bank postgame show. First Dakota National Bank has been here for you since 1872. They offer personal, business, and ag banking solutions for every stage of your journey, plus a friendly team of professional bankers ready to put you first. Spearfish over Rapid City Christian, 26-23. Mitchell over Sioux Falls, Washington right now, 3-0. Upset in the making? We'll see. 3-0, very early on. Pierre over Brookings, they won 57-31. Harrisburg and O'Gorman, no score. Douglas and St. Thomas More, no score. In boys AA, Pierre beat Brookings 73-43. No other scores updated in the area. In A boys, Bonholm is losing to Mount Vernon Plankton. Sioux Valley beat Castlewood 56-39. Parker leads Garrettson 21-0 after the first quarter.
Wow.
That a team getting shut out, that's rare. That's rare. Millbank over Waverly South Shore 56-47. Hanson over Chamberlain 31-29 at halftime. Those are the only scores in A boys. In A girls, Esteline Hendricks over Flandreau Indian 52-30. James Valley Christian leads Sanborn Central Woonsocket 7-5. Redfield beat Northwestern 55-49, and Sioux Valley over Castlewood 51-49. Winner over Platte Geddes at the half 22-17. Flandreau over Baltic 46-15, and Garrettson girls beat Parker 68-43. And finally in Class B girls, Redfield over Northwestern 55-49. Alcester Hudson over Freeman Academy Marion 51-26. And Wall over Lyman 67-48, and Viborg Hurley beat Menno 68-32. Irene Wakanda girls over Bridgewater Emory 70-46. Arlington over Chester area 57-52. Freeman leads number 4 Ethan 35-27, and that's with 1 minute left in the second. So still a whole half to go, but that is 4th ranked Ethan, who's been in the rankings for a while now. And Corsica Stickney leads Trip Delmont Armor 15-11. And Andes Central Dakota Christian beat Gregory 55-52 in girls action. As I mentioned, Andes Central Dakota Christian, first time receiving votes this week. They did lose to Ethan yesterday, so we'll see how that affects it. But a victory today over Gregory. And then in Class B boys, Viborg Hurley boys over Menno 56-27 with 2 minutes left to go in the game. And Sioux Valley over Castlewood 73-48. All right, who's our player of the game?
I think it has to be Zone Robinson.
I agree. How about you, Jen?
That's good.
Okay, Jen agrees. So our Dakota Realty and Property Management player of the game is Zone Robinson. Remember, Dakota Realty has a large variety of rentals in Vermillion and the surrounding area, offering new construction, apartments, duplexes, houses, student housing, and many other units available for rent. Their property management team is professional and reliable, whether you're the property owner or renter. Take a look at what they have available at dakotarealty.com. Again, Zone Robinson, and we had a few people to choose from tonight, but Zone Robinson, just a complete game. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals, just a great game, and he did it so efficiently. I don't keep track of shooting percentage, but he didn't miss very often, and he was always around the ball. He was helping to create havoc. And so just a great game from my point of view for Zone Robinson. He's had some good ones lately, but this felt like a breakout game again. He had a really great start to the season. Kind of felt like he maybe hit a bit of an ebb, and everyone does, and other people were playing. And that's kind of when the whole team was just in that losing streak. But Zone Robinson in this, as they've gone 3-1 over the last 4 games, has really played well. He's played well. Carter Hansen has played well. Carter Skogsberg is playing well, and Bryson Skogsberg and Trey Hansen and Wyatt Gestring. They're really coming into it at the right time, and so I think it bodes well for them heading into the postseason. They're positioned well, and especially with this victory, that they're not going to have to face Dakota Valley in that first game in the region, and that's a big one because honestly, if you look at their region right now, it's Dakota Valley, and Dakota Valley is the big mamma jamma on the block. They really are. But so right now, Vermillion would take on Elk Point Jefferson. Now, they lost to Elk Point. They did. You know, so nobody should say, oh, hey, you got to remember they lost to Elk Point. But they only lost to Elk Point Jefferson by 11 points. It wasn't a domination by EPJ. And so I think if they could start off with Elk Point Jefferson, I think they'd be a very happy squad, because then if that's a 6-3 matchup, then you're playing the winner of the 2-7 matchup. And then that's either Lennox or Canton, and Canton we face on Monday. But it gives you that time to maybe someone else takes out Dakota Valley, or maybe it gives you time to hone your skills again so you can take another run at Dakota Valley. Those boys aren't going to be intimidated because they took Dakota Valley to the wire last time. So what do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I think like you were talking about with Dakota Valley, it's not a preferable matchup in the first. If it came down to it, it came down to it. But I think the more they can avoid them, the better. But like you said, they did bring them right down to the wire. It was tied with about 2.5 minutes to go in that game. Dakota Valley hardly squeaked by Vermillion. So I don't think the Tanagers would be scared if they ended up having to go play Dakota Valley. And just speaking a little bit earlier on our player of the game, Zone Robinson, the reason I want to give him the edge over either Carter was just in the first quarter when no one else could really get anything going, it was Zone Robinson who kept them afloat, and he continued his good play. Both Carters kind of struggled in the first quarter while Zone
9 of the first 10 points. We had 10 points in the first quarter. He had 9 of them.
Exactly. So I do think that gives him the nudge because he kept that Tanagers team. If he had played really poorly and, say...
If it's 14-5 at the end of one, it could be a completely different game.
Exactly. He kept them alive in that first quarter. So I think that's why he definitely deserves it.
Well, I agree. So, yes, here on our First Dakota National Bank postgame show, Zone Robinson is our Dakota Realty and Property Management Player of the Game. Well, for Jen Ashley and Zach Spear, we want to wish you a happy Valentine's Day. We hope it's been good for you. If you're looking for more basketball action over on Classic Hits 106.3 KVHT or 5-star streaming on YouTube, you can catch right now it'd be the Gazelles and the Sioux Falls Christian Chargers, and then later Sioux Falls Christian Boys versus the Yankton Bucks. I believe that's a 3-4 matchup. Sioux Falls Christian is ranked 3rd in Class A. Yankton is ranked 4th in Class AA. So you have some exciting basketball going on over there. But otherwise, for Jen Ashley and Zach Spear, I'm Michael Schumacher. We're wishing you a happy Valentine's Day and a good night.